And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, all over television, all over everywhere. Shout out to Kyle Rittenhouse for beating the case, as he should, as we all knew that he would. Self-defense is not illegal. He should have never been on trial to begin with, but we know why he was there. Politically driven. We'll get to that in a minute, of course. We will get to Kyle Rittenhouse. Also, Kamala Harris was acting president for a little bit of time, quote unquote, briefly, while Biden had a so-called routine colonoscopy. We'll talk about that. Also, people say, oh, well, Kyle Rittenhouse, if he was black, blah, 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 blah. Well, there was one case that happened right at the same time that Kyle Rittenhouse case happened, as far as the decision, and he was black, and he did a lot more than Kyle Rittenhouse did. This guy actually did commit crimes, but still beat his case, and he's black. So what's going on with that? We'll talk about that in a minute. There was a guy, they were trying to get off, the Kim Kardashians of the world. It's weird how they want to actually cape for criminals, like real criminals, people that have killed people that got murders on their belt, serial killers, all this and that and the third. But guys that want to go out there and defend themselves, they got a problem with that. We'll talk about that in a minute and much more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you have heard thus far, if you enjoy the content on the channel in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Shout out to all my sponsors. Of course, shout out to me, ablmerch.com. You can get hats like the I Digress one. You can get that. You can get t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more. I'm going to update a lot as we go through out the year, out the months, whatever. But ablmerch.com, check it out right now. Hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. All original articles on there. Every time I do a video, I write an article. Myself, is me, 100%. So when anybody says, hey, ABL, where's your source? Where's your evidence? Where are you getting that from? Did you get it from some kind of right wing? I get my news from all over the place, everywhere, left, right, independent, non-political, all on ablmerch.com. You can check my list in the description in each of my articles that I write. Also, shout out to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. Patriotpost.us, a link for them will be in the description box. And of course, a lot of you guys have been ordering these flags that are behind me coming up because you got Christmas and whatnot. But this is going to be bhedesigns.com. Brava Henry Echo, bhedesigns.com. The link for that will be in the box. You can get flags that are just like these beautiful handmade American wooden flags, or one of your very own. Get it customized. Go to the website, pick one of those, check them out, and tell them ABO sent you. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the sponsors. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Now, let's get into the topics. Let's get into it. Somebody's questioning my race. They want to know if I'm black or not. Hey, man, let it be a mystery, right? Just let it be a mystery. Just like Rey Mysterio with the mask on. You don't know how I look. I can look like anything, right? My race, you never know that. But anyway, I'll move on. Let's get to the topics. I'm going to get to Kyle Rittenhouse in a little bit because that's going to be a pretty lengthy topic. I'm going to really have to get my vocal cords warmed up for that one. That's going to be a marathon right there. Let's talk about Kamala Harris becoming the acting president. Now, I did a video before this most recent video about her becoming an acting president with, speaking about rumors floating around. And what were these rumors? Well, the rumor was that Kamala Harris, was in jeopardy of losing her job as vice president because the rumor was people in Capitol Hill were trying to figure out what's the process to go through in order to appoint a new vice president and somebody in the House, maybe the Speaker of the House. So maybe if Kamala Harris somehow had to get out of there, they forced her out. They by some force, by some way, legal way, whatever it is, they got Kamala Harris out of the way. Then the House could appoint someone to replace her and then confirm her that way. Because I think the House does not confirm anybody else. They don't confirm. They don't confirm regular nominees. They only confirm VPs if they have to be replaced, and I think House reps if they got to be replaced. Like, let's say, for example, the line of succession goes president, vice president, speaker of the House. So if the vice president is removed, the line of succession would say Nancy Pelosi would come in, but she may not come in. It's a whole big thing. The bottom line is that I thought the rumors were floating around because they were trying to get rid of Kamala Harris. Now, that still could be the case because understand, everyone knows that Joe Biden is pretty much on his last leg. All right. He pretty much got 2 feet underground. All they got to do is put dirt on top and it'd be a nice long nap. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not threatening him, obviously, anybody that want to snitch. I'm just saying the man is clearly on his last legs. Okay. If he was an hourglass, it'd be a few grains of sand left in the top, but the bottom will be completely full all the way to the very, to the entry point. You understand what I'm saying? He does not have much time left, and anybody can see that. Unfortunately, fortunately, whatever you want to say, that's irrelevant. That's not my opinion. The point is that they know, meaning everybody that's watching, but definitely the Democratic Party, they know they don't have much time left with this man, and they most certainly can't run him again in 2024. They're trying to get him through this year. But if he's not there throughout this year, for whatever the reason may be, he might croak. He might, go to the upper room, or he might just say, you know what, I'm done. I want to retire. I want to resign. I want to go sniff kids. Go fishing. He might want to do that, right? So if that were to happen, who's going to replace him? If you look at the actual rules and line of succession, it'd be the vice president. But maybe they don't want Kamala Harris to be the vice president. If you are polling at 28% right now, and when you were running for president back in 2020, Kamala Harris, you were polling at 0%. Nobody liked you. You got no delegates. You were a stinking dumpster fire back then. Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg were beating your head in during the primary. So how are you going to become a likable president when as a vice president, you're at a 28% approval rating? You're cackling and carrying on. You're calling the president racist. You're president now that you decided to go work for. You called him racist back then. You calling him racist right now. You're not doing a good job. You're not even really out there because they pretty much didn't bench you. They got Joe Biden's wife out there doing heavy lifting, and they pretty much carting Joe Biden around like Weekend at Bernie's, going to these events, doodling on himself and stuff like that. And I'm going to just stop right there. So the whole thing about Kamala Harris becoming acting president briefly for a period of time was because Joe Biden had a so-called routine checkup at Walter Reed. Well, it was a colonoscopy, so he had to get sedated with anesthesia. And since he was not able to kind of move around and whatnot, Kamala Harris was the president in his stead for a brief moment while he had the colonoscopy. Now, my question is this to you guys. All right, did you hear about the rumors overseas? You see, that's why sometimes I report rumors. I don't do it that often, but sometimes I do because I get reliable sources. I hear things from Capitol Hill. I know kind of a little bit about what's going on. I can't say I'm an insider, obviously. I'm not that connected to the people, but I know a little bit, just a little bit. So when I hear certain things, it kind of, I can recognize when it kind of makes sense and when there might be, when basically when there's smoke, there's fire, most likely, allegedly. Anyway, the rumors when he was overseas at 2 different events, right, that were like a day or 2 apart. The first one was at the Vatican. We met with the Pope. Now, the rumor was that the meeting was cut short because Joe Biden had a so-called bathroom accident, meaning he doo-dooed on himself, allegedly. That was the rumor, okay? that the meeting took longer, or it took longer for him to leave the meeting because of the bathroom accident. All right, you got this man that's 79 years old walking around with a full diaper. It's like, all right, what are we going to do? We got to tighten this up right now. We can't have this be seen by the media. Just like, remember when Hillary Clinton had to pretty much get thrown in the van like a piece of luggage at the airport? Just boom. Remember that? Now, if you see something like that happen with Joe Biden, they know, based on that incident with Hillary Clinton, that that's going to make him look very weak. Weaker than what he already is. So they can't have the doo-doo on the screen. They can't have no full diaper bulge in his back pocket in the suit jacket or whatever. They can't have that. So allegedly, there was an issue with logistics when it came to that. Now, fast forward to like a day or two later, he left the Vatican and went to Glasgow. What's that, in Scotland or somewhere? I'm not really sure. I'm not a European, so pardon me if I get my geography a little bit incorrect. But he went to Glasgow for the COP26 climate summit. Now, before I get into Glasgow and what happened there, climate is the biggest scam the world has ever seen. I mean, there's some big scams out there that I won't get into because I don't want to trigger nobody beyond what I may be triggering you right now. But climate change is the biggest scam in the world. I was watching the podcast, and I won't say what it was, but the guy was talking about, man, we got all these cows out here farting and putting methane gas in the air and contributing to climate change. I'm like, sir, we talking about cow farts really and climate change? Is that what we talking? No, we ain't talking about combustible engines and factories and coal burning. We talking about cows farting. Please stop. All right. Animals been animals since the beginning of man. I don't think that cow farts and other animals' farts is going to destroy our planet. You understand what I'm saying? We got to be able to eat animals. We got to be able to live. We're humans. But I digress. The whole point is that climate is a scam. It's a hoax, 1,000%. But he was there with all the other heads of state, a lot of foreign dignitaries, people like that. And Camilla, what's her name? You guys know what I'm talking about. Camilla Joe Parker, Silock Road, whatever her name is. Hold on. Princess Camilla, Camilla, that's just a Cornwall. Okay, whatever that is. Is that a princess or line of succession in the royal family? Whatever. Anyway, so her name, I guess, is Camilla Parker Bowles. She was there speaking to Joe Biden or speaking around him. And the tabloids over there, and quite frankly, the news over there, were saying that she could not stop talking about Joe Biden and his very long fart. Imagine you are a princess or some kind of way in a line of succession, and you're talking to a head of state from the U.S., a president of the United States of America. You're talking to him, and you're getting this big, long CVS receipt fart. I mean, what in the world? Like, that's ridiculous. Okay, I understand we're all human beings. We all have bodily functions. But if you're the president, you can't do stuff like that, man. Okay, we're not in a locker room. This ain't no football game or something like that. You're talking to the royal family in UK. You're in a room with presidents, prime ministers, kings and queens and princes and princesses. You can't be in there farting like you at a football game. Or you outside on the grill cooking some steaks? I mean, but just to put it together, the two rumors, one rumor said he had a bathroom accident, and then a day or two later, you got this big, elongated, ridiculous Al Bundy style fart in front of a foreign dignitary. 2 days apart. And then 2 weeks later, you come back home. Oh, it's a routine colonoscopy. Oh, okay, routine colonoscopy. The same way that it was a routine checkup when Kamala Harris went to Walter Reed after she had the meeting with the Democrats. Remember when the Democrats fled Texas because they didn't want to vote on the voting rights bill, which got passed anyway, so it was a waste of time. But when the Democrats fled on that chartered flight, they didn't have on any masks. There was no distancing. And when they were asked about it before the news broke about them, when they were asked about it, oh, we don't need to wear a mask. We don't need to do no distancing. We're all vaxxed. And then half of the plane caught the bug. And before it was realized that half the plane caught the bug, they went to Kamala Harris's office and met with her. What were they talking about? I have no idea, but they had a meeting. Right after the meeting, she goes to Walter Reed for a so-called routine checkup. Oh, okay. They're playing games. These people will vanish for a while, and you don't know where they are. Has anybody seen, has your man come back to the forefront yet, Gavin Newsom? Has he come back yet? And if he's come back, how long was he gone? Jen Psaki, how long was she gone? They disappear for a while, they stay gone, and then they come back like, okay, ain't nothing happened. We know what happened. You may have gotten the shot. You may have gotten Guillain-Barré, a.k.a. Bell's palsy. Side of your face is paralyzed. You can't be on TV, Gavin Newsom, with a halfway paralyzed face, looking like Two-Face from Batman. You can't do that, right? Because if you go on TV like that and you're trying to push the vax, why would I take advice from you when you have a vax injury that I can see on TV? Little kids, mommy, what's wrong with his face? Oh, he got the vax and he got injured. But don't worry, little Tyler, little Hunter. We get you the same shot that he got. And don't worry about the little boys that got myocarditis and they had heart attacks when they're healthy and fit and playing football and basketball. Don't worry about that little munchkin. We're getting you the same shot. Don't worry about how they had 112 kids in Northern Virginia. They gave them the wrong dose, haphazardly talking about, oh, ain't no more kids vaccines. We're giving the adult one. Don't worry about that. Just take the shot. They're hiding these people, lying to you about certain things, and they're giving them treatment that we don't get. Oh, your vax don't work? Okay, take this big bottle of whatever. That's probably IVM. That's probably HCQ. That's probably what's going on. Joe Rogan said that 200 congressmen got IVM before, maybe even during the time that Trump said something about it and before it became this off-limits thing. Political, 100% political. Why is it that CNN and a bunch of these congressmen were now calling it horse dewormer and it's for livestock, and the FDA is talking about don't take that, it's for horses, all this, that, and the third? Why are they saying that right now when a year ago they all took it and they were prescribed it by a doctor? Now you have doctors fighting to prescribe this the same way they prescribed it to congressmen just last year. This is totally political, right? But anyway, getting back to it, I think something's wrong with Joe Biden medically. You understand what I'm saying? You have him stomach problems, doo-doo rumor, fart rumor, colonoscopy. Is that a coincidence? That happened within a 2-week, like a 14-day period. Now, it probably would have been a little bit too obvious if he had a doo-doo rumor and came right back and got a colonoscopy. So they waited a little while. Gave a little bit of breathing room, right, for the media to be able to report it and not have it look ridiculous. To me, it still looks crazy, but to them, it's like, okay, it's not that bad, right? I think something's wrong. And I think that they know this guy might go ahead and just go to the upper room sooner or later, or he'll just retire. And maybe what'll happen is once he goes to Walter Reed one time for a so-called routine checkup, there'll be a mishap, or he'll say, you know what, I'm tired. I'm having a lot of problems medically. I'm going to go ahead and just resign and fall back and give it to Kamala Harris or whoever they want to put in that particular position. So here's my question to you guys. If Joe Biden resigns or whatever, who would the Democrats want to replace him with? They don't want Kamala Harris or Nancy Pelosi, because Nancy Pelosi is also a fossil. Nancy Pelosi is 1,000 years old. I'm kind of being facetious, but at the same time, I'm not. I'm not sure how old she is. Is she a vampire? Has she been here before? Is she a reptilian? I really don't know. But her human, she's like 86 in human years, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check out right quick. Nancy Pelosi age. She is 81. Okay, 81 years old. She'll be 82 on March 26. She's born March 26, 1940. 1940. So she's 81 years old in human years, 1,000 years old in troglodyte years. You understand what I'm saying? A whole fossil on Capitol Hill. If you go back to some of C-SPAN clips, you'll see her going back to the 80s, 90s, like maybe even the 70s, just like Joe Biden. You can go back to the mid-70s, disco fever. Like, do you know how long ago that was? Like, Joe Biden was around before Donna Summer, all these people, like way back. Way back. Some of you guys are watching me. Your parents were not even born when Joe Biden got in office. Some of you guys that are watching me, your parents weren't born when Joe Biden got in office. And what did he do in that period of time? What did he do in that period of time? Nothing. What, the crime bill in 1994? That's about it. Mass incarceration, touching on kid. I'm gonna digress. The whole point is that I'm interested to see who they want to replace Joe Biden and or Kamala Harris with. I don't think they want Kamala Harris to become the president. If Joe Biden had to leave, they probably want to replace her and him. But wow, hold on. Somebody says that Kaya says she was an aide for JFK. Wow, good grief. Nancy Pelosi was around for JFK. Yo, JFK got killed when my parents were little kids. When my parents were little kids, I'm almost 40. You understand what I'm saying? My parents were little kids when JFK died, when he got killed. That's crazy. That's ridiculous, man. But hey, should there be an age limit in politics? I feel like there should be an age limit and a term limit. Because what happens is, and not just for elected positions, but also for non-elected positions like the swamp. You got people there that's been there for 40, 50, 60, 80 years that are not even elected. It just happened to work on the Hill. That's part of the swamp as well. All these aides and consultants and stuff like that, they're part of the swamp as well. But Nancy Pelosi and whatnot been around since Moses parted the Red Sea. Forever. At a certain point, it's like, can we get somebody else? Really? Like, can we do something? And you know what? When you're so deep in the swamp like that, you do whatever you want to do. You do whatever you want. Remember during the scandemic lockdowns, which is still kind of going on, but anyway, Nancy Pelosi said, you know what? We're shutting everything down. No beauty salons are open. No barbershops. No nothing. Meanwhile, she went to a beauty salon in the middle of it, got her hair did, blowout and all of that, and then when she got caught, what she do? Y'all was spying on me. Y'all lied on me. Played the victim. Just like, remember when Dick Cheney shot that man in his head with a shotgun? Shot that man in the head with a shotgun. Now, they said it was bird shot. He didn't die, so I guess it was okay, right? But when he shot that man in the head with a shotgun, the man that got shot went on TV and apologized to Dick Cheney for getting shot. I was like, what in the world? That's crazy. I understand it may have been an accident, allegedly it was an accident, but why am I apologizing to you for getting shot? I didn't shoot myself. I didn't shoot you. You shot me. That's what they do when they're in DC for so long and they have so much power. They do whatever they want. They can walk up to the Pope, punch him in the face, and walk away like ain't nothing happened. That's how much power they think they have and how much power they do have. Okay, that's what's going on. But hey, thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And you guys, I can't thank you enough for that. Now let's get to it. Let's get to my man Cal Rittenhouse, because the topics I have aside from Cal Rittenhouse kind of link to, matter of fact, hold on. Before I get to Cal Rittenhouse, let's talk about my guys at Newport News Shipbuilding. Shout out to you guys at Newport News, Virginia, back in my home area. And you know what? I was actually, when I came from West Virginia, when I was a baby, Goo Goo Gaga, my parents moved they moved to Newport News from West Virginia. You talking about black rednecks. We came down with a trailer attached to my dad's truck, no lie, and parked it right there on the corner of Jefferson and Mercury. Okay, because my dad had some land in West Virginia and the trailer on top of the land that he owned. So I think he sold the land and then took the trailer down to Virginia. Had a Ford F-150 or whatever the truck was at the time. Okay. And my mom driving it. She's like 5 foot tall, driving this big Super Duty work truck. But anyway, so yeah, we had a trailer from the mountain and brought it down to Newport News, right at the corner of Jefferson and Mercury, right by the JRB. But anyway, Newport News Shipbuilding the employees there striked against the vax mandate. Because remember, this vax mandate is still happening to a lot of different industries, and there's a lot of fights against it. There's all kind of rallies and protests and whatnot. So as a result of all the rallies and protests and things of that nature, Huntington Ignalls, I guess they own the shipyard down Newport News. They said they're not going to enforce the mandate. So a lot of you guys that are like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Do I stay? Do I go? There's options. In my opinion, there's options. Now, I can't say that all options will be equal. I can't say that if you decide to strike, it's going to be successful. But people are getting, they're getting success. They're having things go in the proper way. So yeah, shout out AJ, Tidewater Boy, 100%. That's right, Anthony. Newport News builds Navy warships. That's right. It's a naval shipyard. So here's the article right here. You see it right there. Huntington Ignall CEO, we're not enforcing vax mandate. Now, the thing is, they got 44,000 employees, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. Because if they don't enforce the vax mandate, I think there's a financial penalty that'll be levied against them. But I don't know if that's going to be collectible. Because understand this, there's still a court case out there where there's still like ongoing litigation against the vax mandate. I think the most recent thing was the federal court ruled against the administration as far as trying to have this vax mandate. So OSHA, I think they're pausing the enforcement. Newport News Shipyard, they are not enforcing the mandate. Now, some companies are doing the vax mandate regardless of what OSHA and the federales do. But Huntington Ignalls are saying, nope, we're not going to do that because a lot of these guys are just not going to go. They're not going for it. These guys in the shipyard, they're not doing it. And I tell you what, it's hard to find good work. Being on the shipyard, oh man, I done heard all kinds of stories from guys in the shipyard because, of course, being in Virginia, you got the biggest naval base in the whole world right there in Norfolk. Newport News, all the ships built right there. Portsmouth shipbuilding right there. And I heard all kinds of stories about the shipyard guys. It's cold, it's wet. Guys were putting all kind of stuff in their work clothes to keep warm. Newspaper, cotton balls, whatever they could find. But newspaper, heavy gloves, it's rough, man. I know a friend of mine, shouts to you if you're watching, he would clean the inside of the pipes in the ship. I'm not exactly sure what he was cleaning because he would actually physically get inside the pipe and clean it. You talking about, have you ever seen those old school cartoons where the white guy would be covered in soot? Not blackface, but covered in soot, like completely dirty. That'd be how you look after a shift. And you would see guys, when they get off the bus, after they get done working, complete, like head to toe filthy. It'd be cold outside, whatever. So it's hard to find good work, especially right now where don't nobody want to work because all the free money floating around. A lot of guys on the shipyard, man, these guys got felony records, all kind of stuff. So it's hard to find people to really work. So if enough guys say, you know what, I don't want to get that vax, I'm not going to do it, they can't stop operating. They got to be able to get stuff cracking. So we're not going to enforce it. And I think if enough companies say we're not going to enforce it, the government is not really going to be able to go forward. And there's also litigation out there. There's lawsuits and court battles. So ultimately, I think this will not go forward. That's right. I ain't gonna say your name. Xerox Chimney Sweeps. That's right. Chimney Sweep. Yep. So we'll see how that whole thing goes. Yeah, exactly. It's very cold FT in Iceberg. Very cold in the winter in Virginia. You're right there on the water. That ocean breeze is not warm when it's February. It'll snow as well in Virginia, and you still got to build them ships. You got guys out there welding, guys out there doing all kind of stuff. These twit cart guys from the hood, they're not going to go and work if they got to get the vax. That's just the reality of the situation. Virginia is a high black population state. A lot of black guys out there in the shipyard. And we all know that the black community has the lowest vax rate. So it's just a lot of competing factors that are not going to allow this whole vax mandate to happen on these heavy labor jobs like a shipyard. It just ain't going to work. This is not going to work. So yeah, shout out to all the shipyard guys out there. Shout out to all the military, all the boat boys. I say that with love. Don't get it twisted. Shout out to everybody out there for standing up for yourself. And if you were able to get an exemption or whatever the case may be and keep your job, shout out to you. And my advice to anybody, if you're thinking about leaving or whatever because of a pending vax mandate, let them fire you. If you want to leave anyway, let them fire you first. Don't quit. Don't quit. Now, if you're in the military, you're talking about discharge and honorable. I don't know about that. But if you're a civvy, you're a civilian, let them fire you if you want to quit. Don't just fold like that. If they want to say, okay, we'll put you on we'll put you on leave without pay, keep the job still and go find something else. And then if they ultimately want to fire you, then it's like, all right, well, now I got a lawsuit. I'm going to cash out. That's what I would do if I was in your shoes. All right. Now, let's get to my man, Kyle Rittenhouse, the man of the hour. Hold on one right quick. Let me pull up the actual clip right here that I want to find. This is on my Instagram, instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. All right. So here's the clip.
The defendant will rise and face the jury and hearken to its verdicts.
State of Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Members of the jury.
Boom. Okay, so shout out to my man Kyle Rittenhouse for beating that case, as he should. As he should. People, for some reason, think that's a bad thing. Let's put it like this. Okay, self-defense is self-defense regardless of what color you are. Your color is irrelevant. You have the right to defend yourself in this country, period. Period, point blank. Everyone that supports self-defense should support the outcome of that case. Anybody that saw that video, you already know what time it is. It's self-defense. Now, people say that, oh, well, only white guys can call self-defense and not go to the joint. If he was black, he'd be up under the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks, all that stuff. That's false. I did a video today talking about a guy that should actually be in the penitentiary, quite frankly. What's his name? Andrew... Hold on, pardon me. Andrew Coffey the Fourth.
The defendant will rise.
Now, Andrew Coffey the Fourth, what he did was, there's a video, but I ain't gonna play it. It's a little bit long. But what Andrew Coffey did was actually kind of like the Breonna Taylor situation. Remember Breonna Taylor and that whole case where they said it was a drug house, they raided it, the police went there, the guy inside shot first, they shot back. And the police went out killing Breonna Taylor. It's the same situation, but not quite. Because in Breonna Taylor's case, they're both awake and alert. And witnesses said that the police announced themselves. Police, open up. They were both in the hallway out of the bed. They weren't sleeping. The boyfriend shot at the police, ducked behind her, and she took a lot of the bullets because she was a human shield, basically, for him. He shot, ducked behind her. She got shot up because the police returned fire. And the guy shot one of the officers, right? Now, and the officers, they went out the front door knocking. Now, in the case of the guy in Florida, I keep forgetting his name, Andrew. Let's just say Andrew. I ain't going to forget Andrew Coffey the Fourth. I ain't going to do all that. Anyway, the guy named Andrew. What happened with him was, it was a drug house. He was there with his girlfriend, And they did find drugs in the house. They found crack, weed, pills, the whole thing, and a weapon, of course. And he was a 4-time loser, 4-time convicted felon, but no gun rights. So we'll get to that in a minute. But what happened was he was sleeping and heard a bang, allegedly. And as he's looking around to see what's going on, he saw a rifle, like the barrel of a rifle, through his window, like poking inside the open window. So you got the window right here. The rifle's like poking in. He's able to see it. So he fired the shot outside the window toward where the rifle was poking inside the opening. When he does that, the police fire back. Now, he doesn't die, but his girlfriend does because of the fire from the police. Now, his argument was, hey, I didn't know it was the police. I thought I was getting robbed. I was just trying to defend myself, right? He tried the stand your ground thing just straight out, but that didn't work. So it went to a jury trial, and the jury said that he's not guilty of attempt murder on the police for shooting at them or murder for his girlfriend dying, because the police were saying the reason why his girlfriend got shot and killed is because the boyfriend shot first at the cops, but the boyfriend did not shoot the girl. You understand what I'm saying? And the third charge was a gun charge. He got found guilty on that because you can't be a felon with a weapon unless you get rights restored and stuff like that. But he's a felon with a weapon. You can't do that. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but a 4-time felon at the age of 24. So you're talking about a career criminal, obviously. He should actually be in the penitentiary, quite frankly. However, the jury said, no, that's self-defense. That's self-defense. He thought that it was a home invasion. He did not know it was the cops. We can't prove that he knew that it was a police. Therefore, he should not go to the joint for the murder. Now, for the weapon, he can get 30 years in the joint for the weapon. They're going to try to give him 30 years, but it won't be the full 30 years. He'll probably do 5 years in the joint for the pistol, and that's it. That's probably about it. He probably won't do 30 years in the joint for that. But if he had his gun legally, if he was not a 4-time felon, then he'd be okay. He would get off scot-free, okay? Because the jury said self-defense. And it also goes to the point of the weapon charge is different from a murder charge or anything else. If you have your weapon and it's illegal and you use it to defend yourself, you can beat the murder charge, but the weapon will still be there as a different charge. Some people said that, oh, he had the gun illegally in the Rittenhouse case. It's irrelevant. He didn't have it illegally, number one, but number two, that's separate from self-defense. Okay? How does the old saying go? You'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. That's how that goes, right? Okay? So when somebody says, oh, well, if Kyle Rittenhouse was black and he had a long gun and he shot people, he'd be in jail for the murder. No. You have a guy that actually should be in the joint, and the jury said, nope, self-defense. We can't prove that he knew that the cops were there. He may have thought that the cops were home invaders. Another case, I saw a guy in Virginia back in the day, and I think I have this. I should have this particular thing here somewhere. Y'all hold on right quick, because I remember when this happened. This story actually, I'm gonna find this story because here it is. This story hit close to home because I saw this guy before. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. ABL story time. Back in like 2014, I was at the crib in Chesapeake and I'm watching Shark Tank right around the time when it first was getting going. And at the time, they were doing giveaways. It was a Twitter account for Shark Tank. And they said, hey, we're doing giveaways. Send us your information and you could get a box of Shark Tank stuff. So I was like, all right, bet. I sent them my address and whatnot. And they sent me 2 big boxes, big blue box that had the Shark Tank design on it. It's kind of hard to explain. If I could find that, I'm gonna put it on the screen. But basically, they sent me 2 big boxes of Shark Tank stuff. So things that have been on the show. They sent me a water bottle with a water purifier in it. They sent me some of that peanut butter, which is delicious. I got probably about 12 items in each box, about 24 items. So when they sent it to me, they sent it through, matter of fact, here it is. Here is what I got. I'm going to put it on the screen. It's kind of small pictures, but you get the idea. So this is what I got right here. See that box? They sent me that box right there. I got 2 of those. All right. And then you open it up and you see how it's like has a teeth in it. Yep. I got the water bottle right there. It's a peanut butter. So kind of like meat sauce, something like that. Some kind of barbecue sauce and some cookies and stuff right there. I got 2 of those with different things in it. Had a picture and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, they sent it through FedEx. And the guy that came to my house was the guy that got caught up in the story. Because he had this like really kind of permed old school hair that was long, like down to here. Think like early James Brown. Please think like James Brown. That's how he looked. But he was young though. He was like my age, a little bit younger and fit. So I saw him on TV like 2 weeks later, and he was locked up because he shot at 2 officers. Let me go to the screen to show you what happened here. So here's the story. Portsmouth man charged for firing on cops who entered wrong home. And this is when it first happened. He beat this case eventually. But here's the story. Let me see if it'll play, because it's been a while since this happened.
Well, here's the story we've been talking about on Facebook all night. Imagine you're watching NBC 12 News at 11 right here when you hear your back door rattling and then you see a laser pointed on your chest. This Virginia man.
See, that's him right there. See the hair and all of that? That's him. He came to my house, delivered the Shark Tank stuff, and then I saw him on the news.
Says it happened to him. Brandon Watson says he's justified for reacting the way he did, but would the legal system agree? And who was in his backyard anyway? Well, Andy Fox went to find out.
Good old Andy.
11.
January 3rd, 2013, a single shot through a window. Brandon Watson claims he was protecting his family when his wife heard noises in the backyard.
She said, "Oh my gosh, somebody's in our backyard."
Noises getting closer.
She heard.
So they were coming in the back door.
Yeah. We ran upstairs very quickly. She saw guys in all black from right here.
Watson says he couldn't immediately find his cell phone to call 911.
So I run downstairs with my firearm and I post right here. I announce myself. I said, "Who is that? Who is that? I have a gun." And as soon as I said that, a couple red laser beams was on my chest.
A gun laser sight aiming where a shot would hit.
So I looked at the red laser beams on my chest and I fired a warning shot.
He ran to get help from a state police neighbor across the street.
I said, "Whoa." I was just like that. I said, "Whoa." They said, "Who shot this shot?" I said, "I did. I have a gun in my hand." They said, "Put the gun down."
This is Watson's handgun. He immediately dropped and then got stunning news.
"We just got news that you shot at an officer." I said, "Officer?" I said, "Nobody came to my door. What you mean, officer?" Nobody, I didn't know there was no officers.
The dark figures in the backyard were Portsmouth police officers who did not announce themselves.
As far as the officer's response, I support their response 100%.
Portsmouth Police Chief Ed Hargis claims his men never heard Watson.
Anytime a police officer hears that there's a firearm involved, they start giving verbal commands.
So that's pretty much the long and short of it. It's kind of a long video, but you get the idea. The whole point is that he fired on 2 cops, didn't hit him, but shot at him because he thought they were home invaders. Now, ultimately, he beat that case because that was the first story that came out, but he beat that case. Okay. Another black guy. Oh, well, if he was black, then that. Another story. Remember, you know about the guy, the rapper named DaBaby. Okay. DaBaby shot and killed a guy in Walmart back, I think in 2018 or 19, before he became famous, shot and killed him because self-defense. Quick story. What happened was he was in Walmart with his baby mama, 2 kids, just getting regular stuff, grocery shopping. I think they might have been in the toy aisle, getting something for his daughter or something like that. So this dude rolled up on him, tried to rob him with a gun. So he got his wife and his kids or whatever with him. So he pulled his pistol out and shot him. He died. No jail or nothing. He was straight. Okay, later on that year, he became the baby we know today, the popular rapper. He's black too. And it wasn't because he is this famous rapper, because when that happened, he was not famous. He was a local rapper that nobody knew. He became famous after that situation happened. These stories happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. People that say they don't happen like that don't get out much. They don't look at reality for what it is, and or they're just lying. Okay. Here is, and also they're ignorant. That's something else. They're ignorant. Let's look at what happened here. Hold on. Here is what the average person, the average ignorant normie thinks about the Rittenhouse case. Now, I think this is not parody. If it is parody, then bravo to my man. But nah, I've heard this before from regular people on the street. Just not even politically involved, not even on the internet. I'm talking about regular normies. They think this way. Check it out.
You, JMU, thank you to the entire Duke family. Thank you for living on Instagram and everything like that. After this post, I will be logging off. I simply wanted to publicly announce that the verdict of the Kyle Rittenhouse case has been nothing more than a disgusting reminder of what it's really like to be black in America. All the protesting, everything we went through in 2020, we really would think would make a change, but clearly it doesn't. We scream Black Lives Matter, but it doesn't matter enough for these people who are in power, the jury, the judge, anybody, to charge this man with murdering and taking away two beautiful black lives at the ripe ages of 26 and 36. It's disgusting. We can't go to the store, rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. We can't lay in bed, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. And we can't even protest without our lives being on the line. And that's what we fight for. We fight for you, JMU.
Wait a minute. Did you hear that? Did you miss that part? Okay, let's go back a little bit.
We would think would make a change, but clearly it doesn't. We scream Black Lives Matter, but it doesn't matter enough for these people who are in power, the jury, the judge, anybody, to charge this man with murdering and taking away two beautiful black lives.
Let's go back, because there's captions on here. With murdering and taking away two beautiful black lives, he thinks that the child predator and the other boy, that they're black. But see, this is what happens when you listen to the media, because the media might not even say that they were black, right? They might not say that directly, but they'll say stuff like it was a Black Lives Matter protest. He's a racist. He's a white supremacist. He's X, Y, and Z. He hates black people. They didn't say that he shot somebody black, but they said everything but that. So if you're an ignorant person and don't want to do any kind of research and you're lazy, you'll think that they were black. This is why people are upset. This is why they think that he probably shot Jacob Blake. People like him think Jacob Blake is dead when he's not dead. He got shot, but he didn't die. You can get shot and not die. I mean, imagine that. Imagine getting shot but not dying. It does happen, right? I promise it does happen. Okay. But this is what we're dealing with. You're talking about people that are white as snow, okay, with German names. Gage Grayskuts. Is that a black name? Okay, Anthony. Now, what's his name? Joseph Rosenbaum. How many black guys do you know named Joseph Rosenbaum? Anthony Huber. I mean, come on, Anthony. That's a common name. But Joseph Rosenbaum, Gage Grayskuts. Really? That's a black person? Come on. Let's use our brain for more than a beanie rack or a hat rack. You understand? The gun was black, but he killed white men. There you go. There you go. Okay. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. And there was another one I want to show you guys. The typical media narrative from this. I've been seeing a lot of her lately. I think she has a show. Oh, here's a good meme for you guys. Here's a really good meme. They're asking guys a question. You guys got to answer this question I'm about to put on the screen right quick. Y'all hold on. So this is like a little memorial picture of Anthony Huber and Joseph Rosenbaum with little flowers and stuff. And it's an animated picture. And, and the meme says, was your property worth their futures? Was your property worth their futures? Meaning you shouldn't have been out there stopping them from burning up people's businesses and their livelihoods, because now their future is gone. But to answer the question, yes, my property was worth their futures. Yes, it was. Yes. I don't really, how can anybody defend Joseph Rosenbaum, especially a convicted predator? Where's the defense for him? In my mind, all Kyle Rittenhouse did was be a sanitation worker, took out the trash. That's all he did. That's it. Why would anybody defend that guy? I don't really. Anyway, so yes, they did. Yes. Now I gotta find the other video of the lady making up stuff. I gotta find that because I felt like every buzzword from the media she put into like a 2-minute clip. And it's one of these shows they got. I don't even know what the name of the show is. I mean, but I'm gonna find it. What's the name of that show that I don't know? It's this black lady and she's like doing some kind of comedy routine type stuff, but it's like really woke. I forget the name of that show, but you guys may know. You guys are very smart. You guys may know what it is. I'm gonna find it right quick, so y'all hang tight. Gross guts. That's hilarious. Call that man gross. Yeah, that's accurate. That's 100% accurate. Okay. I'm going to find that clip eventually, but I can't find it right now. I cannot find it right now, but I will find that eventually. But yeah, shout out to my man Kyle Rittenhouse for making it. Now, what I also heard about Rittenhouse is that he is going to be in a documentary. So Tucker Carlson or some other guys had a film crew with him, and they're going to produce that. I'm not really sure where it's going to be. It might be on Fox Nation or something like that. But it's going to be an interview. There's going to be an interview on Peacock. Yes, that the show's on Peacock. Not Joe Reed, Lily Singh, not Wendy Williams, but the show was on Peacock. You know what I'm talking about? You guys might be right there. I told you, you guys are geniuses. Geniuses. But the interview for Rittenhouse is going to be on Monday on Tucker. So be there. Monday on Tucker. You're going to see Rittenhouse give an interview. You got to be there. Must see TV. I'm going to be there. If I could stream it, I would, but I can't because that's copyrighted. But I'm definitely going to do. Thank you. I can't read your name. 001Q2W3E Amber Ruffin. But yeah, you guys got to watch that interview with Kyle Rittenhouse. So here's the video I was talking about from Amber Ruffin on the Peacock Network. Does anybody watch that? I feel like, before I even get into it, I feel like a lot of these shows are hitting on hot button issues just to try and get some clicks and ratings, because who would watch this show if not for the controversy? You understand what I'm saying? Why do I want to see you in your Chinese suit and like PF Chang server tie? Why do I want to see you talk about politics at all? But anyway, let's watch some of this here.
You guys, because I have my own show, I have a responsibility to say things that people need to know that aren't being said. It's a cool opportunity that I don't take lightly. There are very big, obvious truths that...
Let's pause for a moment. RIP headphone users. I don't have pierced ears, but my ears are now pierced because of her voice. So pardon me for the loud noise in the beginning.
That no one wants to say on TV, but I will. Now, just a few minutes before we started taping the show, Kyle Rittenhouse, the man accused of shooting 3 people during a Black Lives Matter protest, was declared not guilty on all charges. So I can't believe I have to say this, but...
Visible, like, did you guys hear the groaning? Oh, hilarious. Hey, that ain't nothing but just, that ain't nothing but rocket fuel to me. That's high octane gasoline from my vehicle. You understand? That fuels me every day. Are you gonna start crying? Really? What are you crying for? What are you crying about? Wait, like, oh, did your mama get killed? Did your dog get killed? What are you crying about, lady? You crying for a child predator? Is that what we doing? Come on. lady, stop. Like, don't do all that. Like, I don't see near tier. I don't see near tier forming. I don't see no Indian tier. I don't see nothing. So stop. Keep going, please.
It's not okay for a man to grab a rifle, travel across state lines.
You know what? I don't want to ever hear the words or the phrase state lines ever again in my life. I don't want to hear it no more. Just like Russia collusion, January 6th, all these buzzwords, please stop. You guys don't care about the country line, so why you care about state lines? When do borders ever matter to y'all? So I can go in your crib and take stuff, and if I get charged, that's racist. But if I just walk in my backyard, that's somehow like worse than World War II Germany?
And shoot 3 people and then walk free. It's not okay for the judicial system to be blatantly and obviously stacked against people of color.
I just disproved that narrative. Shout out to the baby. Shout out to the dude, Andrew. Shout out to my man from back in 2014 in Virginia. Shot at cops and beat it. The one dude was a felon, 4-time loser with a weapon illegally, shot at cops. His girlfriend died and he beat the charges as far as the murder.
It's not okay for there to be an entirely different set of rules for white people. But I don't care about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Okay.
I don't care about that racist judge. And I don't care about how up that jury must be.
So now you're attacking the jury. I mean, come on. See, now you're attacking our system as it is. I mean, anyway. And racism, how is a judge racist? Where was there any evidence of racism? You guys just say stuff like this. Now I got to come out here and debunk it.
White people have been getting away with murder since time began. I don't care about that. I care about you. And I can't believe I have to say this, but you matter.
Stop. Wait, you're not crying though. Stop. Just give me this little spiel without the fake tears. You're on TV, you're an actor. You're an actress. I understand, but the crying, I'm not buying. All these big shoulders look like you're about to play football. You ain't crying.
You matter. Every time one of these verdicts come out, it's easy to feel like you don't, but I'm here to tell you that you do. You matter. You matter so much that the second you start to get a sense that you do, a man will grab a gun he shouldn't have in the first place and travel all the way to another state just to quiet you. That's
all the way. My man went 15 minutes. Like Gates Grosskreutz went further than Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm from another state. That's that right there. That's my new trigger. State lines. If I ever hear it again, I'm going postal. I'm sorry.
That's the power you have. So don't forget it.
Hey, you know what? That video has 6.3 million views. 6.3 million on Twitter. And Twitter's not even a video place like that. It ain't like YouTube and Facebook. 6.3 million on Twitter from her account. Now, a lot of that, to be honest, is probably us, cracking jokes at it and stuff like that. But still, Amber Ruffin, you need to go ahead back to acting classes. The tears were not convincing. Okay, I want to see you cry like you didn't turn the water on. I want to see water hose just shooting out. Boo-hooing. I wasn't convinced. 0 out of 10 for the crying effort. 10 out of 10 for the lying effort. Okay. But that is what's going on with the media, and I think a lot of people are ingesting that. So when people are upset and they're sad and they're mad and they butthurt and they're triggered, understand that they are just absorbing whatever they're being told by the media to think. And when you see that performance like that, if you actually believe it, you would think that he went out there and shot a bunch of black people. That's what you would think if you were brainwashed like that. But you guys are woke. You guys are woke in the true sense, not in the a weird predator sense. You understand what I'm saying? You guys are truly outside of that matrix and you are aware of your surroundings, unlike people that believe in that drivel that we just watched. You understand? Very shallow effort. But that state line stuff, oh my goodness, that's the worst thing in the world. The worst. ever. So yeah, shout out to everybody that has been able to claim self-defense. And you know what? I gotta add one last time before we get to super chats. Remember the whole thing about Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman, and the stand your ground thing? You had all these ignorant people, a lot of black folks, white folks, everybody talking about we gotta repeal stand your ground law because Zimmerman used it and got off, not even knowing that black folks disproportionately use stand your ground and beat cases because of that in Florida. Not even knowing, because all they see is whatever the media feeds them. They see the hysteria and they act on that. It's an ignorant way of acting. If you want to act, you need to understand what you're acting for. Got to understand the whole situation, understand the law, understand who uses it. I mean, I done seen plenty of guys, like when you in these areas and when you know guys that are kind of involved in crime and stuff like that, you see things differently. And also, even if you're not in the area where guys are involved with crime, if you just read, use your brain and think, that this whole narrative about black guys being unjustly targeted by the white man and stand your ground is not even the real thing. Self-defense is for everyone. And the reason why in Florida, a lot of black folks use it more than anybody else proportionately is because a lot of violence is black male on black male. Half of all the violence in the country, half of all the violent crime in the country is black male against black male. Half. Not just black males, black male against black male specifically. So a lot of black males use stand your ground to beat cases. RP Young Dolph. Young Dolph, the rapper. Now, he got drew down on in South Memphis at the cookie shop. Now, if he was able to successfully shoot those guys and defend his life, and then they say, okay, we're going to charge you. Nope, self-defense. And he beat that case. Gucci Mane, he killed somebody. Long story, but he killed somebody because he got robbed. And matter of fact, he got set up. A bunch of guys came in the crib, tried to kill him. And he killed one of them guys in the robbery. Beat that case. So this is not a new thing. But to those that don't understand it, it's brand new. This is racist. This is white supremacy. But now what it is your ignorance. But not y'all. You guys are brilliant. 1,000%. So, yeah, RIP Young Dolph, RIP everybody that's died unnecessarily. But if you died because you were trying to attack somebody, then you are where you need to be. So and enjoy your dirt nap. But anyway, more of the story is keep your hands to yourself. But I'll move right along. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Please visit my sponsors, ablmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more through the link in the box, anthonyblogan.com. And also where you can get the flags, bhedesigns.com. Bravo Henry Echo flags, flags.com. You can get ones just like these or one of your very own through the link in the box. So we got super chats on deck. I think I'm going to read those right quick, and then we get into the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. We'll get to those in a few minutes. Now, shout out to Apu for some supers who says, ABL, so proud of your unwavering support of Cal. Hey, it's all good, man. I support anybody that defends themselves lawfully. If you're doing the right thing, I support you. If you're following the law, I support you, period. Now, if there's a law I don't like, I'm not even going to get mad at the person that's following the law. I will have an issue with the law. But the law and Cal Rittenhouse are not even the same. That's because self-defense. Law or no law, self-defense, period. Just like in the case of someone who has a gun illegally but defends themselves, I support their right to defend themselves, period. Now, as far as a gun being legal or illegal, that's a different story. Just your self-defense is paramount. Okay, defending yourself, defending your loved ones is paramount. I don't care about nothing else. In that instance of a self-defense case. Other things are irrelevant in that case. He also says, loved your video rebutting if Cal were black. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Um, Noah Garcia says, I need a sequel to the Karate Kid called The Kenosha Kid. Hilarious. Also, Apu says, compare George Floyd to Tony Temple, media silent. Oh, yeah. They didn't care because Tony Temple, you couldn't create this black victimhood narrative off of Tony Temple because he's white. Didn't nobody care. Some people care. His loved ones cared. And people that care about the situation that knew about it, they cared. But George Floyd, that was no more than a fundraiser for Black Lives Matter. They raised $10.6 billion. Has the life of any black American improved at all as a direct result of that money, aside from the people that run the organization being able to get this crazy portfolio of real estate? Huh? I'll wait for anybody to answer that question. How has anybody's life improved from Black Lives Matter raising $10.6 billion off of George Floyd's death? Except for the people that run BLM being able to get a crazy real estate portfolio, being able to go have meetings and spend $50,000, being able to go out to the Caribbean trying to find property next to Justin Bieber, being able to have a house up in the Hollywood Hills and stuff like that, having a house in Georgia with a landing strip and a hangar for a private plane. I'm getting triggered, so I'll move on. Thank you to Noah Garcia, who says, you know the difference between Cal and Pfizer? Cal shots are more effective. Right on. Right on. Thank you to Caius, who says, do you think Cal will have to change his identity? No. I think he'll be fine. Zimmerman is fine. I think Cal will be fine. And Zimmerman shot somebody black, and Cal did not. So he'll be fine. Thank you to FA Ranger Xbox, who says, please tell B. Tatum he has a fake account trolling his chat, 2 dots over to you and Tatum. That happens to all of us, actually. We all have that problem. It's a known problem. It's kind of hard to contain, quite frankly, but it is what it is. Thank you to Noah Garcia, who says, I heard Cal is there to protect a National Guard from the protesters. Hilarious. Hilarious. Apple also says, where are the BLM marches for David Dorn or Sequoia Turner or Horace Lorenzo Anderson Jr. or Taya Marie Kelly or Burnell Chamel or Adea Pendleton? No such thing will happen because they don't care about that. All they care about is themselves. Also, Adea performed at second Obama inauguration in January 2013. Then, a month later, was murdered in Chicago, 15 years old. Where are liberal media? Don't care. They're trying to cover the next dead black man that they can make be some kind of victimhood story. Okay, if the shooter was light-skinned enough to be considered white, they'll cover that. Okay. Jedi 2 billion says, you think what's going on in Austria, lockdowns, dehumanizing of unvaccinated protests, etc., will spread to the rest of EU and eventually the world? I'm not really sure. That's a good question. I think that's more of a European thing, and Australia, which is also kind of European, part of the Commonwealth, but I'm not really sure about anywhere else. The anti-view says, thank you for all you do, sir. The bestest on the internets, Mr. ABL. Let's go, Brandon. LGTFJB, there you go. Thank you to Apu for saying, God bless January 6th, MAGA Patriots in DC jail and solitary. Thanks to Chevy for being the member and also for saying, my favorite Trinity, Donald J. Trump, Mark R. Levin, Anthony B. Logan. There you go. That's a great group right there. Glad to be part of it. Apple also says, Patriot Freedom Project raises money for J6 MAGA. Also, hey, ABL, those giant men who came into Old Country Buffet, what did they eat? Did they give you good tips? Any more funny stories from your days? I have a lot of stories I can't tell, but that's one of them about them big transgenders. They about 7 foot tall each, 2 of them. A light skin one and a dark skin one. These dudes looking like Shaquille O'Neal each. It was looking like Shaquille O'Neal and Rasheed Wallace came into Old Country Buffet with Brazilian butt lifts. It was ridiculous. I mean, I've never seen that before or after that at Old Country. One thing I will say, I saw this couple that were like bulimic or something. Hard to explain, but basically what they would do is they would come into Old Country, the buffet joint, if you don't know, for some of the young people out there. They would come into the buffet in the morning for lunch. Like 11 o'clock, we open up, 10 or 11 o'clock. They come in there early. Matter of fact, yeah, they were coming in for breakfast. stay for lunch, and they would stay the entire day. They weren't fat or sloppy or nothing like that. They looked like the cover of an HGTV magazine. If you go to a grocery store, pick up a magazine, you see a guy with a flannel shirt, the wife in a nice dress, they look like the perfect couple. They be in the Old Country Buffet the entire day, and their plates of food be like this big. I'm 6'3", 215 pounds. I don't eat that much. They had food like this. I'm talking about Flintstones style portions. All day they'd be sitting there eating it. What they would do is go in the bathroom and just earl it back up and go back and eat. I mean, moral of the story is never judge a book by its cover. You understand? Hold on. Let me go back. Thank you to Imperfect Linus who says Camilla Parker Bowles is Duchess of Cornwall. There you go. Thank you. Apple says ABL right after live stream. What's your routine? That's a different story. We'll move on. The anti-view says, sir, thanks for all you do. Oh, getting back to the routine. I have a podcast to upload. So what I do after this, I record the podcast right here and I just upload it. And then I go to bed, right? Fauna Face says, Hope Cow sues the heck out of the media, especially Corn Pop and Kaepernick. STC, stop the cap. Black people, this ain't just about us, it's everyone. There you go. 100%. Shout out to Apple who says, how you celebrate Thanksgiving this coming week? We'll see. Because we had Thanksgiving we're going to go to, but that got canceled. So we probably go to another one. So we're going to be eating some food. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. Hold on. The anti-view says, use your routine. Colonoscopies happen from ages 45 to 75. Most government insurances only cover them 55 to 70. How was his routine for him? Prior history? That's my question. How do you have a routine colonoscopy at age 79 after rumors of bathroom accidents 2 weeks later? Is there a reason? I think so. We'll talk about that maybe. Thank you to G Dubs who says, twice now between the Covington kids and Cal, the media that cry about Trump being a bully have no problem bullying kids and even worse, encouraging their supporters to do the same. 100%. And you know what? Not only do they bully people, they dox them or threaten doxing. There was one story, I forget what it was, but they threatened to dox a kid. I think that was CNN that did that. You can't be threatening to dox people. And if you don't know what dox means, that means publish your information, your name, your address, and stuff like that. It was crazy. The media are really dangerous. Let me see. Thank you to Apple who says, why isn't Gage Gracecutts charged with attempted murder? That's a great question. If anybody should have been on the stand, it should have been him, not Kyle Rittenhouse for defending himself against Gage. Gage on the stand said that Kyle did not shoot him until Gage pointed his gun at him. That's a crime, right? That's called brandishing. Brandishing, maybe even the assault. So, yeah, you can't do that. Tanya says, bathroom issues, unable to control gas, immediately followed by a colonoscopy. My guess is a problem. Exactly. 100%. Thank you to Imperfect Linus who says, is Pelosi the oldest one in Congress? She's older than Biden, but are there any others in Congress who are older? That's a good question. I'm going to Google that right quick. Oldest person in Congress. It probably is Pelosi or Lisa Murkowski. Hold on. Lisa Murkowski, age. Hold on. Let's type that properly. Wow, 64. Good night. Wow. Okay. Now let's see. So the oldest person is Bill Pascrell. Is he still in office at age 83? Then there's Grace Napolitano. Alcee Hastings. He looks good for his age. I ain't gonna hold you. Is that a current picture? Hold on. That's him right there. Alcee Hastings, 83 years old. Then you have, are these, because this could be an old list. When was this published? I'm not really sure. It says updated in 2020. So they could be dead by now. I don't know. But Pat Roberts, 84. Eddie Bernice Johnson, 84. Jim Inhofe, 85. Richard Shelby, 86. Good grief. Chuck Grassley, the OG. I like Chuck Grassley, but he's 86 years old. Dianne Feinstein. That's what I think about Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein is 86. Number 1, Don Young, 86, 11 months. Okay. So, yeah, he's up there. They're definitely up there in age. Too old. I mean, I'm not being ageist, but come on. At a certain point, how are you going to be a lawmaker at 90 years old? Just stop. That's like trying to be driving a race car at 100 years old. No. But let's go back to where I was. JK says, has anyone seen Pelosi? Thanks for all you do, ABL. Fun fact, parents less than 50, Biden and Pelosi were around before that. Yeah, correct. 100%. I'm telling you, my parents were little kids. My parents were like in middle school or elementary when Biden first got in office. Yeah. I'm almost 40. So, I mean, I'm not a young man. Relatively. Shout out to Aunt Remus for the donation. Thank you to Fauna Faye who says, saw a video of Joe Biden with kids again at Thanksgiving speech. Parents be aware. Handsome where you at. Exactly. Hide your kids, hide your wife because Joe Biden's on the prowl. Michael Guest says, let's go Brandon. Hashtag FJB. Aunt Remus says, sent SC with message. So bought another. Oh, super chat or message without message. Thank you, ABL. Smart, informative, entertaining. Much respect. God bless you. And Kyle Rittenhouse, USA. Right on. Michael Guest says, Kyle Eastwood Rittenhouse, US. Thank you to Adam MF Turek, who says, it's always a pleasure watching a good man with a brain. Much love, bud. Thank you for that. Thank you to God Sarah, who says, thank you for your videos. No problem. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, hopefully Cal put CNN or MSNBC out of business. Right on. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, does anyone know if Tubin still plays? I ain't gonna read that. Come on, man. I can't be reading stuff like that. You got little kids watching. Shout out to Noah Garcia, who says they want to question Cal's self-defense case, but don't want to question the baby self-defense case. Funny, huh? Exactly. Thank you to Ryan Turner for your donation. Shout out to Michael, who says Rittenhouse can now sue CNN. If Rittenhouse were black, the case wouldn't have gone to trial. App, who says at Amy Swearer, Twitter, 50 cases, black self-defense in court. Thank you to Fauna Faye, who says you saw where those girls were harassing Asian students on a train in Philly. I saw that. And you know what? Philly is home to a lot of black Muslims. I think Elijah Muhammad may have been there for a while, set up a few mosques. Malcolm and all these guys were there for a while, setting up mosques. So you got a lot of Muslims in Philly. Big beard, no mustache. That's very common. But, you know, what happened was that a lot of their fashion, a lot of the hijabs and stuff like that, it just became fashion. It ain't nothing but a fancy bonnet. Imagine seeing somebody get stomped out with a bonnet. Imagine seeing somebody with a hijab stomp an Asian person out. Stomped out on the train. I ain't going to play that right here because we're on YouTube, but they both had on. Matter of fact, there were three black girls with hijabs on, stomping people out on the train. That ain't nothing but a fancy bonnet. Why wear that? I'm sure that beating somebody up on a train for no real reason is haram. Okay, inshallah, all that, that's definitely haram right there. But I'll digress. Shout out to the anti-view who says, nasty pill OC. Timmy Tifa, what's COVID? Osama bin Omar gave in new someone, antibody falsely. We need new leaders in our country now. There you go. Thank you to Adam MF Turek, who says, was the future of the child he abused worth anything? Exactly. Talking about Rosenbaum, the guy that got deleted by Cal Rittenhouse. Thank you to J. Pam Manal, who says Alec Baldwin crossed state lines. Boom. Love it. Thank you to the anti-view who says, what about the idea that Rittenhouse was defending a minority-owned business? Pretty racist. Exactly. The business was owned by Indian American guys. Red Dot. Indian American guys. So Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked by 3 white guys defending a spot owned by Indian guys, but he's a white supremacist. How? Thank you to Watts, who says, "Do you think nationwide mask mandates will ever end completely?" Well, we don't have nationwide mask mandates. I'm not sure what you mean, because that's not happening where I live. So I think there are mask mandates in certain parts of the country, but not nationwide, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't wear a mask anymore. You got to wear a mask only on a plane, as far as like me personally, but that's it. Anywhere else, I'm good money. Thank you to Clayton Gardner for your noob controller donation. Thank you to J. Pamano, who says, Alec Obama went across state lines. There you go. Thank you to Conservative Republic, who says, is $2 enough for you? Shout out my channel. Well, I did it right there. Conservative Republic. There you go. Shout out to you. Thank you to Papanoia Shelley, who says, NAACP president just said the Kyle Rittenhouse acquittal was worse than that of Emmett Till. Wow. Too many black folk falling for the liberal narrative. Embarrassing. That's crazy. I mean, okay, if you guys don't know about Emmett Till, some young guys in the chat, Emmett Till was what, like 12 or 15? He was a boy, not an adult. He was a boy. And I think the accusation was he whistled at a white woman, and then the white woman told. I'm not sure what the exact story is. I keep hearing different versions. But anyway, what I heard was he was a boy, whistling at a white woman told, and then he was killed by a group of white men, thrown in the river, and then when they recovered his body, it was really like bloated and whatnot from the water. Now, I don't think killing a person for whistling at a white woman is the equivalent to killing people that attack you when you're running away from them. Okay? If anything, the people that were trying to, like, if Emmett Till were armed and an adult, he would be Kyle Rittenhouse. You understand? That's the actual comparison. That's crazy though. But NAACP ain't nothing but they do nothing for the most part. They do nothing. They are ineffective. They may say a good thing every once in the blue moon, like broken clock right twice a day, but beyond that, they do nothing. They're more harmful than helpful. All right. Yeah. Emmett Till was the first Me Too, correct. All right. Thank you to Slayer Mill, who says the leftist race hustlers are so narcissistic that when something gains international attention, having nothing to do with racism, they make it about that anyway. Exactly. Right on. Now, let's get to some more here. Hold on. Well, I got a whole lot going on. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says, my right to carry is my right for life. Exactly. Thank you to G Dubs, who says, most of my family are brainwashed lefties, including my mom, who was still parroting the BS narrative even after the verdict. Exactly. It's really unfortunate, but most people are going to be brainwashed like that because all they do is watch the mainstream media and listen to other uninformed people. If they're not around anybody that has any kind of sense, they're going to also not have sense. Where are you going to get your sense from? Apple also says, did that Peacock journalist Amber cry for those 2 black teen girls murdered by MS-13? 16-year-old Kayla Cuevas and her 15-year-old friend Nisa Micken. She sure didn't cry, didn't care about them at all. Thank you to Guardian 1032, who says, Logan Owens 2024, I vote for you. Hey, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Thank you to Lily J for your donation. Thank you to Devin, who says they're only happy when they're angry. If you tell them the quote unquote good news, that only white people were killed, they get even angrier. They want to be mad, sad. Yeah, it is sad. Thank you to Buck versus Windshield for the thumbs up donation. Thank you to Trey Pastel, who says, or Patso, pardon me, does Cal get his rifle back? That's a good question. That's a very good question. He should, because if he beat the case, then that's mine. Or was it his, or was it someone else's? I'm not sure if that was his rifle. So that's kind of a trick question. Thank you to Jack McCarthy and Andrew for becoming ABL members. Thank you to Ian, who says, you see the three different articles I left in the comment section of your fascist book post about the black man acquitted. I've not. I get too much, so I'll check that later. Thank you to Wolfgang Dial, who says, when I was born Californian, I've never understood how to drive like one. Why can't they just stay on their side, stay over in their own state? I stay in mine. Thank you to G Dubs, who says, what are these? They're yearbook pictures. They probably look way worse right now in reality. Talking about the Congress people that are real old. Shout out to Serenius, who says, Kyle Rittenhouse, sanitation worker, LOL. I need a shirt with that. I might need to do that. Let me screenshot that. See if I can remember to do it. Jack McCarthy says, Mr. Logan, thanks for being the voice of reason in these trying times. Ain't no problem. You know, if somebody's got to do it and nobody else will, I will. That's how I'm going to operate. Matter of fact, let me write that down as far as the t-shirt idea. And you guys are the best audience anywhere in the world. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I'm going to get to the call in just a minute. I got a few more supers on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. Thank you to Butt vs. Winfield, who says, if Biden visits your town, to be on the safe side, you should put chili peppers in your kids' hair. Thank you to Ryan Turner for the good job emoji, thumbs up. Shout out to El De Guayo. I know I butchered that, and it's not my fault, blame the white man, who says, the felon in Florida killing his girlfriend and got off. He sure did get off. Thank you to Queen of Hearts for the smiling emoji. Thank you to Ian Kinney, who says, why do borders matter to the left when it comes to citizens crossing state lines, but not non-citizens crossing national lines? If you find out, let me know. I'm trying to find out too. Thank you to Wolfgang Dial, who says, my priorities, commandeer YouTube, nuke is censored. Canada secured the California border and the southern border, nuke Vermont. Thank you to K-Dub from the future, who says, down here in Texas, we call the extremely half-baked, nonsensical version of Islam they propose to teach brothers in jail and prison, Prislam. That's what it is, Prislam. A lot of guys I know, they go to jail, Chris Jackson, and come back, Muhammad Kadur Arif or some, that's what happens. Okay, always. Thank you to Nicole Ali for the donation. Thank you to Wolfgang, who says, if the left really wants UBI, make it so that they lose it and never get it back when they vote for the first time ever. Suppress that vote. Thank you to Walking Around New York, who says, I never forget Sunny Bill, a little girl shot in the car. I have a picture on my channel. Wow. Very sad. Thank you to Ian, who says, Kenosha needs to free Crystal Kaiser, who was serving time for killing their rapist. Thank you to Jedi 2 billion, pardon me, who says, if I may ask, are you vax? I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about, what's that? What's vax mean? Thank you to Jason Stroud, who says, I love your show. Keep it up. Watch your channel daily. Oh, and go Brandon. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. All right. We got super chat out the way. Now let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's get Skype open up right quick. If Skype acts weird, it's not my fault. Blame the white man for that. I didn't do it. All right. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email to get on through video in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Links for that will also be in the box below, as is the phone. All right. So let's get to it here. 601, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Oops, sorry. Hey, it's Justice.
All righty, what's going on?
I have a question. Am I echoing?
You good? You good to go?
Okay. Hey, I know it's been a while. I've been watching your videos and everything as always, but I have one question for you.
All right.
Because I just be on YouTube and Facebook Messenger and Twitter and stuff. So it's a quick, simple question. Why is it that when I'm just gonna be flat out with it? Why is that when Caucasian teenagers and kids do any type of criminal act, they're called lost childs and not innocent, but they're called lost children and they don't know any better. But when their same counterparts, African American children do something, they're automatically called thugs and put them in jail. Why do I keep seeing this same this same pattern on all these social media sites when they both do the same thing, but they both have two different outcomes of what they're called.
I see the reverse, actually. I see the reverse because with Kyle Rittenhouse, but hold on, wait. I'm going to explain. You asked me a question. I'm going to explain. With Kyle Rittenhouse, what they kept saying, white supremacists, white national. Joe, the president of the USA, called him a white supremacist before anything was known, before any facts came out. White supremacists, white nationalists, neo-Nazi, all that stuff. That's what they call these white kids when anything happens. But then if a black kid does something, oh, he was troubled, he didn't have a dad in his life, he grew up in poverty. That's what I hear now all the time. They try to do it to me. They say, you know what, you don't know anything. You're conservative because you've been brainwashed. And it's okay because you don't know any better. You grew up in poverty. Your dad wasn't in the house with you. You don't know any better. I get that all the time for me. So, I see the actual reverse of that.
Well, I want to add more to what you said because I'm getting the opposite of what I see on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. And you know how I am or whatever. You already know what I am. But I get called. People say like all my white coworkers. They say I'm lucky. They say I'm a lucky guy because I was raised in a 2-parent household versus my counterparts. Like what does that even mean? Like I'm a lucky. I'm the one of the lucky ones because I was raised in a 2-parent household. Like what does that even mean?
I mean, because you are. I mean,
yeah,
look though.
Why do?
Go ahead.
But why do that? Like they assume. Like I'm just being. I can say it, because I have white people in my family, so I can go ahead and say it. Why is that white people? They say that like they say, oh well, you're black and you was raised in a 2-parent household. You're not effed up like the rest of them. Like what does that mean? Like you don't hear us saying that to them. Like we don't say that. So why do they say that?
No, we do. We say it to each other. We say it to each other.
Yeah, we say it to each other. But we keep it in the house. We keep it in the household, though.
So if we say it, it's okay. But if they say it, then it's not okay.
But we say it in private. They say it in public.
But the question I asked you is, if we say it, then it's okay. But if they say it, then it's not okay.
No, it's not okay either way it goes. But both of it's not okay. But would you rather get cussed out in front of your face, or would you rather get cussed out without knowing?
Who's being cussed
out?
Which
will hurt your feelings more?
Who's being cussed?
I know, I'm just saying.
But ain't nobody being cussed out though. Like you're comparing things that don't match. Like nobody's being cussed out. You're being given the compliment actually because we know what a single parent household rate is in the black community. 75%. The majority of us, overwhelmingly so, do not grow up in a 2-parent household. We grow up in fractured homes, chaotic homes. That's the reality in which we live. So if somebody says you had a 2-parent household, you lucky. Everybody say that. That's a question. That's a common question that gets asked, and everybody says that. And then the way it is right now, a lot of white folks are dealing with the same thing: broken homes, high divorce rate, 50% divorce rate in the country. That affects all races: black, white, Candy Stripe, Puerto Rican. That's what's happening right now. So that's not a bad thing to say.
Yeah, and there's one more thing, but yeah, I mean well, there's one more thing I'd like to say too. I heard you talk about abortions. The number one abortion killer, whatever you want to call it, is white women. But yet it's black women that always get talked about on Fox News and CNN. But you look at the numbers, it's white women. So I'm just getting sick of us. I'm just getting sick of black people getting talked about when it's white people that are leading in all of these statistics. Well, it doesn't make sense. Like, why are you talking about little percentages? You should be talking about the big percentages.
I think that's incorrect,
but
though.
It gets the numbers.
What happens, what I see is when you're talking about abortion, the issue gets addressed on Fox as like life. Okay, abortion is wrong because you're killing the baby. It's not viewed in the sense of black women kill their baby. It's a sense of you're killing the baby. Now, if you want to get down to talking about specific races, if black women are mentioned, then they're mentioned in the context of the left trying to target black women, like in commercials and billboards and stuff like that. And then we look at the fact that black women have a very high abortion rate, higher than anybody else. Half of our race not even here because of abortion in the black community. So if you're being targeted for abortion specifically through advertising, through marketing and stuff like that, then it'll be mentioned. But abortion in general is viewed as a negative thing because you're killing a life. That's how it's usually presented. It's only presented in the racial lens when there's a racial attack against a group, the way it is on black women.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't agree with abortion either, but I just feel like when it comes to news networks, they're reporting they're reporting on the least percentage people. They need to be reporting on the mass percentage of people. But all right, one more thing. I'll make it quick. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a police officer. I'm in the Marines as well. Reserves. I agree with self-defense. Here's my question: why was the 17-year-old out being Batman? Why? There's police there. You don't take stuff like that in your own hands. If you're in your house, it's a different story. But you don't travel to, you said it's the Twin City or whatever. They're county state lines. We'll go by that argument.
That state line stuff.
But either way it goes, you're a 17-year-old. You don't go somewhere with a gun, your friend's gun at that, and try to be Batman.
I mean, how was he being Batman though? I don't understand.
Vigilante.
How was he being a vigilante? I don't understand.
Being a vigilante is somebody that's taking...
No. I know what it means. I know what it means. But how was Kyle Rittenhouse being a vigilante? Explain that to me, please.
He said he was there to protect businesses. Police are
but how was he being? You see, one thing you could say what he said, but how was he being a vigilante?
What do you mean?
You said it. You said he was being a vigilante. You said that he was being a vigilante. So how was he being a vigilante?
I said that he was taking actions into his own hands.
Well, what did he do though? What did he do?
Protecting businesses.
So if he was protecting the business, is that being a vigilante?
Yeah.
Let's look it up right quick. Let's look it up.
I'll explain why. When you have government, I ain't gonna say government, but you have police officers, we are made to do that. We protect businesses when something happens. You as a teenager, especially somebody that's in high school age, you don't go out there and take stuff to your own hands and try to be somebody that you're not, because what happens is you end up in trouble like he did.
But check it out. But check it out though. Is that illegal to do that?
No, it's not illegal.
So what's the problem?
Weed legal in California, but I still don't agree with it.
Okay, but it's legal, so what you gonna do about it? If somebody want to smoke, I mean, you could say that it's not right, but I mean, at the end of the day, the police were not really going to be able to respond to everything because you guys can't be everywhere all the time. If you got a bunch of looting and shooting and carrying don't happen all over the city and you're stretched thin, you don't got enough staff to be everywhere. So if a fire happens and the business burns to the ground, then what happens? Oh well, should nobody be out there because we're going to cover it, although you can't cover it. So you're going to have the bad guys out there. You're going to have the child predators out there. They're going to be out there regardless, and they're not being stopped by the police. So somebody got to be out there. And his purpose for being out there was to be a medic to help people if they were injured and stuff like that. That was really the purpose. I mean, like this whole thing about me, like the only reason why he got active is because he was being attacked and had to defend himself. That could have been the case whether he was there protecting the business or just being the medic only. He was being attacked. That's what happened. That's why he got active.
Yeah, I don't disagree with Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, I mean, what he stands for, I mean, that's what he stands up for. It's cool for him. At least he has a good, positive mindset. I just don't like seeing children risk their lives when they're not certified, not licensed. Like, I don't want to see you die out there. You know,
well,
like
he did.
I just don't want to see you put your life out there like that.
He didn't die, did he?
Yeah, he luckily.
Hey, he defended himself and he's good money. I mean, you like I put it to you like this though. I'm gonna say this and I'll get to my next call. You're 17 years old. My dad enlisted in the Marines at 17 years old. So is it that young? I'm not sure.
But like you said, I enlisted as well at 18. The difference is I had a contract.
So
I knew
you can be 18 years old and go die for the country, but you can't be 17 years old and volunteer for your country. In the country, you can't do that. My dad enlisted at age 17. Enlisted age 17 in the Marine Corps, Paris Island. You know what it is. 17. Yeah. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17 years old, same age. But anyway,
I understand.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, it was a good call. I'll call you back next week.
All right, now take care.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to the caller. But yeah, I mean, 17 years old. How old is that really, though? My dad was in the Marines, 17 years old. He did a great job. Rittenhouse did. So all this about, or he shouldn't have been out there crossing state lines, that's just drummed up by the media to make you feel a negative way about Kyle Rittenhouse. That's all that was. We'll get to some more calls. Okay, let's try to get to 956 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, BL. This is Broken Tax Man from Texas.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, I just wanted to call you to just bring up 2 points. I know you guys are talking about the Rittenhouse stuff, but I just want to bring up a few things about a few things that I've been seeing here lately. So here in the Houston area, a few months back, we got a case about this kid who was found in a hotel room. Apparently, the mom or the dad got a girlfriend, and the girlfriend beat the brakes off the kid and killed him, and then they dumped him in a hotel room, and they didn't find his body for a whole month. That was one of the cases. Another case was very similar to that one. There was 3 kids that were living inside of a apartment complex or inside of an apartment, and one of the kids was abused and mistreated. I'm sure all of them were, but one of them was abused so bad that he died, and they basically kept him dead on the couch for 1 whole year. And the kid's body was decomposing, and the 2 brothers were living inside that home at the time, so they had to live with that body there decomposing, and the kid was like a 7-year-old kid or something. It turns out that the mom and the boyfriend again beat the brakes off the kid and rented a split. They took off from the apartment complex for a whole year, and the mom would come back once every 2 weeks to give him food here and there. And the neighbors noticed that that these kids were all alone, and one of the neighbors would sneak or give the older kid some food to kind of sustain them and stuff. But no one called the cops, or I'm assuming they did call the cops, but the cops never came through. Child Protective Services never came through. All that fell through the woodworks. But the reason why I bring it up is this was all facilitated. This was all festered through because of the whole COVID response. Most of the kids here in this area aren't going to school, or at the time weren't going to school because of the COVID response. They didn't want kids to get sick or whatever. But one of the reasons why child abuse gets caught is from schools. Teachers or nurses will see signs of abuse, and they'll report it, and they'll go up through the system, and the kids get helped out and stuff. But because of this whole response, a lot of this exact issue is happening on a massive level, and the amount of damage that we're doing to kids is we're not even able to fathom it right now. In the future, we're going to see some very disturbed situations going on because of what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's really, really sad, really unfortunate. And then I guess a lot of these kids would be gone for a long time, and then who's reporting them missing? If they were going to school, then it's like, okay, where's X, Y, and Z child at? Then it could be a welfare check, CPS go over and see what's going on. But without that system in place, it breaks other systems. So it's really, really sad.
Yeah, and those are just people call them unintended consequences, but in reality, this was all. I want to say it was, like you said, the pandemic. This was all for a reason, man. There's some evil, wicked stuff going on in high places. There's a Bible quote that says it, and we battle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities and evil, darkness that rules the world. So I just want to tell everybody just to stay safe and pray and just stay up and always fight for your rights.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a great day, bud.
Yeah, that's pretty scary, man. It's really scary, but it makes a lot of sense because the whole system, you break in the whole system by doing things that don't make any sense. You're trying to protect kids, trying to protect people, but it's worse. You're making things worse. So all these lockdowns, just the dumbest thing in the world. The dumbest. 240, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
JB, your boy JB. What's up, brother? Been a long time.
Yeah, man. Everything's good. About yourself?
I can't complain, brother, man. I'm sick of these people saying, what if he was black? You can't, what if something? There's a known fact that the guy was white. He didn't do nothing racist. He shot white people. Not saying it's right or not, but they're trying to make it a racial issue, but it's not a racial issue. I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of the whateverism. You know what I'm saying? Aren't you, ABL?
I'm really tired of it, but I think a lot of that is just about the media driving the narrative, and they keep saying things over and over again. And the regular person that don't know it, but they believe it. Or you cross state lines. They keep saying that over and over again, like it really means something. Like if you go from DC to Maryland or to Virginia, is it a big deal? You cross a bridge and that's it. It ain't like you went into a whole different universe.
Exactly, ABL. I live in DC, so you already know we're on the same accord.
Right.
That's not state lines. It's like a cop skip. It's like literally a 20-minute ride for you to go to Virginia.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if anything so sick about everything is like too many black people are just caught up in this whole narrative of the what ifism, and they're trying to make it bigger than what it is, and they're putting it into a box of racism, and there's no racism here. It's a simple cut and dry case of self-defense. And they hit the boy with a skateboard as he was trying to render aid to somebody. This is a sick world we're living in. Both of us was a child molester, and that one was a convicted white beat or something. And they've got angel wings going around on Facebook. Now, say something nice about these two, the sick pervert who's having sex with little kids. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm sorry, Bill. Got a little passionate there.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And then when I tell that to people, they want to get angry. It's like, what you getting angry for? Don't get mad at me. I ain't do it. That's your people that did that.
Exactly. And that's what I'm so sick about this. Like, and then your Dr. Umar Johnsons and your Tanika Shees, these people are pushing this dumb narrative. And your Jason Blacks. I'm like, what are y'all pushing narrative to make black women rage over what? And then you got BLM going around New York City talking about we don't want the cops anywhere, but crime's at an all-time high. So now then they get on news say we're gonna aid and abet in the crime. Yeah, real right there, Mr. Leader of the Black Lives Matter thing. Come on, get out of here. Go jump off a bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge.
There you go. Exactly.
But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, ABL. It's good hearing from you, brother, man. I'm proud of your numbers, brother. I'm proud of the numbers, brother. You're doing a good thing there. Another thing I want to ask you was you on Kevin Samuels a couple times?
Yeah, I know him. Like Kevin was on this stream years ago, like back in like 2017. And I was on this show recently, briefly. Yeah, I know Kevin.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like I told everybody, it's like it's good you black YouTubers, black different YouTubers are interacting together. It adds to the black format. A different idea to kick around is. If everybody about Kevin saying he don't beef with people, he takes everybody as they are.
Absolutely, 100%. That's good. You can't be out here beefing like you're a rapper or something like that. Just be good people.
Exactly, like you're a good person, man. Like I'm one of your Facebook friends. You and your wife always look happy. That's how you want a black couple to be happy and married. I can't stress enough. Like Uncle Carl talking about, why is that a big thing? It is a big thing for you to be married in this day and age. He don't know what he's talking about. That's the thing that ain't so mad. He's gonna say, what's so good about being married in a two-parent household? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
But see, people, you know what I'm saying? People that never had that, they don't really know anything about it, so they don't think it's necessary. Like people say, "Oh, it's easier to have a baby than it is to get married." I'm like, you know what? That's sad to hear that. That
is very sad. You know what? You're supposed to do it the right way. Marry before you carry, like Kevin Samuels saying. And I'm a father with 2 kids and grandkids. By the way, ABL, we have 2 grandkids now. Just update you.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
9 pounds, 22 inches. I'm like, this kid is going to be a basketball player.
That's Shaquille O'Neal over there. Good grief.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, too. He was born last month. He's 23, so he was born last month. I'm in shock right now. And my son's married. And I tell people, kids reflect what you put out there. And it's the beautiful gift in the world to know your son's married with his own family, in the military doing this thing. And I tell people, it's a blessing to see that, because in the black community, we don't see that a lot. So I'm for marriages in the black community. It's a beautiful thing.
Right on.
Well, all right, brother, man. Get your next caller, brother. Y'all have a nice one. And hey, ABL chat room, hey, we'll get this brother to a million. All right, we'll get him to 1 million.
There you go. Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, shout out to JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And yeah, that's definitely the thing, man. Gotta have parents together raising children in a nice, secure home. That's what you gotta have in the world. All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. What's going on, brother? This is Lotto. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, no problem.
Can you hear me clearly?
I hear you well.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I just want to talk on this, how they're brainwashing children in schools with this liberal mindset and with these just Marxist mindset, because I've been through school, and only a few kids are able to actually get out without being brainwashed. Only the few that are chosen to get out the schools and not be brainwashed by what they're teaching nowadays, because it goes from the top all the way from the top to the bottom. That's teaching this things to the children. And there's a lot of demoralization that's going on in the schools nowadays to kids. And like, for example, it goes very far. It goes very far. Like since in 1859, Charles Darwin, he was he was a well-known incest. Who also supported incest. He married his first cousin and had 10 children. Some of them showed like symptoms of inbreeding. He wrote the book, The Origin of Species, where he described macroevolution, which says that an animal can evolve into a completely different species over time, which led to the belief that humans are nothing but mere animals. That's a form of demoralization. Every school started pushing this to children, teaching kids that they are nothing but animals who came from a rock. In the 1950s, kids were well-dressed, had their lunch boxes, and would put their tiny hands together and said this prayer in schools. This is what the prayer said. It said, "Almighty God, we acknowledge our dependence upon thee, and we beg thy blessings upon us, our parents, our teachers, and our country." The kids would say this prayer every morning. This was America. God, prayers, and churches and fried chickens on Sundays. Mm-hmm. In 1962, the Supreme Court banned prayers in schools. Mm-hmm. As a result, violence has increased tremendously. A former Secretary of Education, William Bennett, revealed that between 1963 and 1990, divorce doubled. Teen pregnancy went up 200%. Teen suicide increased 300%. Violent crime went up 500%. And he said part of the moral decline of society was because of removing prayers out of school. Think about how bad it is today. In 1973, in the Roe versus Wade case, we let one atheist woman fought to kill babies. It went from the federal court to the Supreme Court. They upheld abortion. According to WHO, World Health Organization, over 40 to 50 million babies have been aborted worldwide. It's gotten so bad, over 3 million in 2021 alone in the United States have been aborted. Most from minority communities like Blacks, Hispanics, and so forth. There's bloods in the streets, ABL. The decline of morality is happening every day in the schools. America, your country, has been taken over by people who hates you and the God you serve. And before I go, ABL, I just want to quote this scripture from the Bible. It says in Revelations 1:7, "Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him. And all peoples on the earth will mourn because of him. so shall it be. Amen. Thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Great call. Very well said. All right, let's get to a few more here. Number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get it rocking and rolling. And 865 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, you talking to Lori from back in the hills this evening.
All righty, what's going on?
So I'll tell you what, it was good to see those lefties have to eat their own spit this this week.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yep, absolutely. Yep. Well, I was sitting there thinking when Joe has his little potty problems, you know, they get on their little walkie-talkies. You know what they call that? They call that a code brown. They call that a code brown. Well, I was going to say if Congress gets this next bill put through, it's going to be a doozy.
Yeah, if they can, but I doubt it because you got to go through the Senate, and I think that even I think the Democrat senators, Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin are going to be against it. So, but if it does go through, it'd be a wrap for us because basically what they're going to do, they're going to expand the welfare state to the middle class, and that's not what we want.
Right. Well, I just wanted to make a little quote. This is by Thomas Jefferson. He said, "A government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take away everything you have."
100% correct. Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's it for me tonight.
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
That ain't nothing but facts. You know, because when the government becomes so big, they become omnipotent, and you don't want that to happen. 484, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
What's going on, ABL? This is Uber guy. Want to say real quick, brother?
Uber guy, what's going on, man?
It's Jimmy J. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, man. Honestly, I haven't called here in like a long time, man, but I had to show some respect to you guys. I'm surprised y'all ain't lose y'all mind yet with this case. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, the crazy thing about it all is it's really just revealing to everybody, like, who really is just like lost their mind by being extremists when it comes to racial type of issues. And the crazy thing is, I'm glad you guys brought up the Baby Gucci Mane. There's another artist, No Plug. I know people in my personal family that had self-defense, manslaughter, and they're black and things of that nature, but that when it doesn't fit their narrative. And here I am crossing state lines on my way up to Philly to go to Thanksgiving and open up a can. You know what? So, but yeah, it's crazy, man.
It really is, man. And it tells you that people lose their mind when it comes to basic stuff like that. Everybody knows it's self-defense. You got that right. That's a basic right that everybody knows. So why is it that we just throw that away? Just because of what the media says? We throw our own minds away? That's crazy.
Right. And it's crazy because anybody that was out, the thing is, the people that are so sensitive about it, they still think that these are black kids that were shot. They still think, you already know everything. They already think that still happens. But if they were in those shoes themselves, or if it's their kids or something of that nature, they would get it. I feel like it's hypocrisy. Just like these vaccine mandates, and Trump did vax mandates, they will be out here protesting and not taking the vaccines. It's just crazy. I'm not sure about that. But yeah.
Now you're right though. You're right because the same way before Biden got in office, people were saying, "Oh, I ain't taking that vax because Trump put it out. It gets Trump name on it." But then when Biden gets in, they say, "No, we're gonna take that." It's like you just say you don't want to take it.
Right.
People let this politics stuff screw their mind up. It's like, you got to think for yourself, regardless of what tribe you want to affiliate yourself with. Just do what makes sense, regardless of what someone else says.
Right. Yeah, Fargo, man. At this point, I'm just fed up with it, and I just want any, black or white people out there to know, just because you feel this way, you're not crazy out there. Like, white people, you're not racist just because of this, and black people, you're not coon or whatever they want to call you just because you have common sense. I watch you guys on YouTube. I commend y'all, like you and Brandon, people like that, because I know it's frustrating. You know, I know it's frustrating, and
Yeah.
I just appreciate y'all continue, spreading real news. What I should say.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Salute ABL, man. Appreciate you. All right.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shout out to Uber guy for the call in the car. He's right on, though. It's like people get so caught up in the politics, so caught up in hating Trump or trying to be aligned to Biden, they forget their own mind. It's like, okay, you could be politically affiliated with whoever. If you want to vote blue no matter who, that's great. But still, don't turn your brain off. If you said your whole life you don't like vaxxers, then you say, oh, I like this and I support mandates. What are you doing? You see, me, I've always been the guy that's not been for vax. I've never had a flu shot before in my life. I'm 37 years old. I've never had a flu shot ever. So why would I all of a sudden be pro-vax and pro-vax mandate now? What's the purpose? Not even when Trump announced it, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll pass. Thanks, but no thanks. That was my thought process back then. And I have the same thought process now. I don't care that Trump developed it. He can develop whatever. I don't got to take it because he developed it. I use my own mind to make decisions, not what someone else that is cool tells me to do or suggests that I do. 830, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What are you doing?
Chance.
All right, I got a little bit of feedback in the background. Turn the speakers down for me, please.
Do that, sir. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Turn the speakers down for me, please, in the background.
Yes, sir. I'm just going to step outside.
All righty. So what's going on?
Oh, not much, man. Just everything. You know, how everything's happening. Everybody wants to make out this kid going out there as being the bad person. And he shouldn't have been there because, quote unquote, a curfew. But yet everybody's there.
Exactly. That was my point. It's like if he shouldn't have been there, then nobody should have been there. So their argument gets canceled out immediately.
It's ridiculous. You know, and that just fades on and on to everything else that's happening of, well, you can't say this because we don't like it. You know, it's where are we right now in this world of you can't be who you are. You can't do what you want to be or who you are because you want to be that person. You know, it's crazy to me. It's everything this country is based on is now under fire because people want to believe that, man, it goes on and on. You know, we can start at just the transgenders all the way over to the people that want to defend pedophiles. You know, it's the variety is so big, but yet it's all in the same direction. It's just crazy to me, and it's hard to believe that people even think like this.
Yeah, it really is crazy, but that goes back to the whole brainwashing thing and the tribalism. People get so caught up in their political affiliation and whatever they think is right that they just forget basic common sense and decency.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's my main thing. You know, I live here in Central Texas, not too far away from Austin, and we see a lot of just a bunch of different things coming in and out. And I'm a bartender on top of it, so I get to see a lot of different characters. You know, and a lot of them are awesome, and a lot of them are just crazy. And it has nothing to do with political views. It's just the people in general. There's people out there that have these thoughts of them as themselves as they should be above everybody and nothing should abide by them. And then you have the other class of like, hey man, I've had too much to drink. I understand. Get me a cab and I'm on my way home. You know?
Right.
It's a strange world we're in right now to me. And, I grew up in South Texas,
where I saw border jumps and border runs on a daily basis. And that means not much to me, as if you want to get here legally, do it. If you want to run around, jumping around, getting in other people's cars, stealing them with you and your 20 buddies and going down 181 and wrecking out and having the possibility of hurting other people, that's a way bigger fucking problem than what's going on right now in mainstream media.
Right on.
Personally, that's just me. You know, because that's not just happening once a day. That's happening many times a day all throughout South Texas. You know, there's just things that to me aren't in the priorities, and the priorities are wrong right now.
I hear you 100%.
But that's me. ABL, man, much love to you. I love what you do. Keep up the great content. And keep on bringing it up, man. We love you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's get to a few more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go to 678. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, you're speaking to El Buffalo.
Who?
El Buffalo.
A buffalo?
No, El Buffalo.
All right, let's not. I don't even know what's going on, man. I'm just trying to do right. I'm just trying to do right. I mean, we're moving on. Let's get to some more. 941, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Kenny Waters.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi. I just wanted to make a statement about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
All righty, go for it.
I think that the Kyle Rittenhouse trial is a good win for the gun, the amendment, Second Amendment rights. And I also think that the mainstream news media is playing it as against the Second Amendment. I just want to know what you think about that.
Well, of course, the mainstream media are going to try to do whatever they can to make this be a negative case. And they the Second Amendment, against straight white males, against pretty much everything that they can extract from this case. That's all. And really, they don't want people to defend themselves. They just want us to be helpless and rely upon the government to do it. That's why they want to try to defund the police and expand the welfare state, because they want us, they want to be in control rather than us.
Yes, I agree. And I think that it's very dangerous in our state today that the mainstream news media is playing this false narrative that the kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, was a vigilante crossing state lines, and that really means nothing because it was only 17 miles and his father lives there, and the racial side of it, he didn't shoot anyone black.
Right. Of course. But see, the media, the whole state lines thing, they're using that because they don't have anything else. They're trying to make it seem worse than what it was by repeating the same thing over and over again with fake crying and dramatic music. It's like a dog and pony show just to try and brainwash people.
Yes. And it's very scary. I wonder, what can we do?
Well, I mean, the main thing is just if you're called to be on the jury, just do the right thing when you're on the jury. Just go by the facts and just spread information. Just do whatever you can to be a good citizen. And that's the most important thing.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, it's so scary, the times we're living in with all of the racial violence and the racial divide and the CRT. And it's like everything is racially motivated, and it's really not.
Right, exactly. All right, well, thank you for your call.
I appreciate your time. I watch you all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Same to you. All righty. Shout out to the caller. Let's go 708. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 708. Hello.
Yep. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, man. Okay. Hey, ABL. Wow. I wasn't expecting you on. I just wanted to say hi. And I appreciate what you do. And I really wish your word would get out to more people. So I just wanted to express that. And I'm sorry, I'm like at a loss for words.
It's all good.
So anyways, I guess I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. Something that bothers me about the whole, I don't know, just how everything come to pass in the last, year and a half and whatnot. These riots, I'm watching people just losing their minds. Why? Like, why are people acting like this?
Well, like let's hold on 1 second. Now, you got to understand one very important thing that I think some people miss is that a lot of these people are paid or encouraged or sent from other places to be there. Like, you're not just seeing when you see these riots and stuff like that, especially lately, you're not seeing an organic thing. It's not an organic movement. I've seen videos of U-Hauls pretty much just open up with like a clown car full of people and supplies and signs and whatnot. And when you see these people out there, they have perfectly manicured signs and things that are professional, that cost money, and they raise money. It's a professional thing. Black Lives Matter raised $10.6 billion after George Floyd died in 2020. And that was because of the riots. This is a fundraising you're seeing right now. This is not organic. This is not. Now, some people are going to be out there doing organic stuff, but the majority of it, the big things you see are not organic. This is something that's financed with a budget. You can see it. It's clear.
Yeah. I mean, there definitely is that going on, but I guess because I don't know, I moved. I don't really want to give away my location, but I moved, from Chicago to a different city, and I'd never really got into politics, and I'm still not. But it's like I had friends, that kind of thought along my lines, where I'm just kind of going about life. I don't give a crap about politics or being too sensitive. I don't know. You probably grew up in a time where we gave each other crap in school, and we call each other names, and just get thick skin. And now people are just like, you say something wrong, you say, you use a word that's supposedly a slur nowadays that, like, I don't know, just not like anything racist, but like, just words that are now supposedly politically incorrect. And like, I'm just thinking back to like grade school. We used them all the time. Like, it was nothing. It just boggles my mind. I don't know.
I hear you.
Anyways, man, I don't want to take up too much time, but like I said, just wanted to give you my appreciation, and I'll let you go.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, you too, man. See ya.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And here's the video in question I was talking about just now. Let's try and get that on the screen right quick. The clown car U-Haul. Okay, this is the. So you see the U-Haul, and look how it just unfolds. Abolish the police. All out of a U-Haul, all kind of stuff. I don't know what just popped out the back. There might be some drugs and whatnot for them to use. What's that? Abolition now. Is that what that says? Abolition now. All types of some kind of Antifa symbol. I'm not sure what that is. It's like a clown car, and they're scattering everywhere. So it's like, is this organic? Does it appear organic to you? Does it appear like this is just something that grassroots and it just decided to come out there protect black women, artists, and that, and the third. They got all kind of stuff. Camera crews, everything else out there. So it's like, what's really going on? What's really going on? Right? When you see stuff like that, you're like, okay, now I understand what's going on. This is not just something that happens randomly. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, bro, what's going on, man? I just got to say this because, and it is no slight to some of the callers, but one of the more frustrating things about conservatives, and I see why we're so lagging behind, is we are so clueless as to why things are happening. Like, you got some people saying, why are people thinking clearly? Why are they so emotional? Or why is media so mean? I'm just like, are y'all watching TV? Do y'all not see the liberal media constantly attacking free speech? Are y'all not seeing what's going on in college campuses, how people are being indoctrinated? Like, I'm saying this because in 2021, we cannot be so clueless. We cannot be in a state where we don't know what's going on and the other side knows what's going on, and we're still just like always on the defensive. It's like we don't have an answer. It's like we give up and we don't know what's going on, and that's just ridiculous. Because if the liberals all speak in one mind, there's no question to liberals why Kyle Rittenhouse was there. They all speak in one mind. It's because he's a white supremacist, period. That's what they tell their people, and their people repeat it. And the only reason why, like I said, this whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing is big because this was a part of the culture war. This was the liberal versus the conservative. And the first time ever the conservative was finally defending himself and won. This was a cultural battleground. You even got some African Americans asking, well, why isn't the Ahmaud Arbery case as big as the Kyle Rittenhouse? It's because the Ahmaud Arbery case is not a culture war. That was not some liberal versus conservative. And then what I also tell the African American, I said, well, you see, this shows how much the liberals don't care about this. Because on this issue where it's a black person involved, they're not even elevating. Why? It's because it doesn't suit their agenda. And, your emotions, I'm talking about black people in general, your emotions is used and manipulated to bolster the liberal cause. Because we bring our whole slavery, we bring our whole baggage, which creates this victimhood mentality and this narrative to get people to feel sorry for white liberals. So now white liberals are out here saying what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse getting off is white supremacy, which makes no sense, because my argument is, well, how is this beneficial towards white people if they can just kill each other with impunity? So why even have jails then? If white people could go around killing each other and getting off, why do we even have a criminal justice system? It makes no sense. But see, what I'm saying is we have to know what's going on as conservatives and stop asking these silly questions if we don't know where things are coming from or why Trump was being attacked. Trump was attacked because he's the enemy. The reason why Trump supporters were attacked is because they don't align with the ideology that the liberal media wants it to. Period. There should be no confusion, no scratching heads about what's going on. You're walking around with your head in the dust. We're over here losing elections, losing ideological battles. No, man. So, my solution is the conservatives need to all speak with one voice, the same as liberals. And I'm going to say this again. We got to get rid of these traitors. I mean, it's nothing worse than someone in your own family turning against you and betraying you. And as long as you don't have your family on your side fighting for you, you have nobody. And that's just what the Republican Party is, man. As long as they sit here and allow these Democrats to bring up these frivolous charges against conservatives, and there's not any type of movement mounted back at them, we lose. And one last thing, I think the Republican Party should raise a lot of money to help Kyle Rittenhouse sue a lot of people for defamation, just counterattack and punish these liberals. Seriously, they can't keep getting away with this. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like I said, had this been a Trump supporter, turn around, chasing a liberal, and the liberal was defending himself and killed Trump supporters, there wouldn't even be no trial, and the liberals were celebrated. So yeah, this is concerned. Stop acting so confused about what's going on. You should know what's going on. Like, wake up. That's all I gotta say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Very well said. Considering the better myself. Right? You got to just wake up to see what's going on here. Now, hey, I got a very interesting picture. You guys ready for it? Okay. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Let me back up so I can put it on the screen properly. All right. So now, do you know what you're seeing right now? What you're seeing right now is Pope John Paul II blessing Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Ah, very interesting. You think the Pope knows? You think the Pope knows who they are and what they do? You think? Do you know at the time of this picture, the age of consent at the Vatican was 12? I'm just saying. I don't know nothing. I'm just saying. Here's a picture. The age of consent at the Vatican at the time was 12. They changed it since then. But right here, 12 years old. What were Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell doing? Huh? I'll move on. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's get to a few more. Let's go to... Alrighty. Hold on, y'all hang tight. The phones are blowing up after I did that. Hold on. 314, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Already. Okay. Hold on, y'all hang tight.
314, hello.
The phones are blowing up after I did that. Hold on. Yes, sir.
All right, turn your speakers off in the background for me, please.
Okay.
All righty, what's going on?
Yes, sir. I just want to speak on the case of Kyle.
All righty, go for it.
I just want to say, anybody, we shouldn't, the media made it into, into something that divide the people. And I really think that, it was, as soon as I seen the first time when I seen the video, I seen a kid that's, trying to get away from a chaotic scene and, trying to get to a safe haven. And I seen a kid that was getting attacked by multiple people from all sides, and then basically I seen a kid that's, trying to get back to his, get to a safe place. But what I seen was somebody that's, defending his life. I just didn't get why the media trying to make it into something, that is not, what it was, And I believe that, the media is, that's what's really hurting this nation. Instead of just reporting on the facts, they just, manipulate, people's minds and turn people against each other, and, that's really, it's really, the media is mainly the problem. They just, I don't know what agenda they're trying to push, but they turn to a different thing where, instead of the media reporting just on the facts, but, they're just always trying to interject their point of view. And then that's basically what I believe is the media, is really just the main, the main culprit, that's really hurting this nation. And they know this. And I believe that, that the people, like, some people is not well, and then they play on people's emotion because, they know a lot of people, they're not really, mainly the masses, they are very emotional, and then they're not, they're not using their own logic, and they just, and then, it could have been, so what I seen was somebody, that's defending his life. I don't care if he was, 17, 30, or 45. It didn't matter the age. But I just felt like somebody that's taking part, protecting, what he believed that needed to be protected,
That's right.
Maybe he didn't agree with him. Yes, sir.
No, I'm saying you're right about that. It was just, self-defense at the end of the day. And if people can't really see that, if they can't really see that, then they're just not being honest, in my opinion.
Right. And then they're always trying to paint a picture, instead of looking at what it is, they're always trying to paint something, a different narrative. And then that's what, is hurting this nation. I mean, I'm a foreigner, I migrated to the United States at a young age. I didn't know nothing and then they taught me I didn't know nothing about racism, and then, black and white. And I just seen, I lived in different nations. I lived in, different countries before I migrated to the United States. And overseas, it's before I even migrated to the United States and then they're painting, that's when I learned like why, the media, it just like, as long as they always painting black and white, that's what's really hurting the nation. Instead of saying this is United States and this is, you can make it and this is America. It doesn't matter your color of your skin or whatever you may be, but they just always painting this, always every this or that, black or white, everything, and and then and then the majority of the people they fell for this, that's why a lot of times, I get my own news, from different outlets. I listen to both sides, but I finally learned that, mainly I grew up watching CNN and all that because of my father, but now CNN became, something that people trusted back in the day into a different thing,
Right on.
They cannot just let, instead of just reporting for the news for what it is and let people make up their own mind, they're always interjecting their own, they make up, this is what you should think and this is how it is, like they should like people to report for what it is and let people decide and just report what the court or whatever, and then just report on the news on the day and let people decide, instead of deciding for the people, that's what I think.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Shout out to the caller. Get to a few more. Let's go to 860. You know line who I'm speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's your brother from another mother, F&A Ranger.
All right, man. What's going on?
Listen to what you had to say about the Gibraltar thing. And I was in the military for a few years, as you know. Io parlo italiano molto bene. Io ho Natale 3 anni all'Americani militare.
Okay.
And I have this thought about COVID, okay? In 2011, about 13 guano miners, that's bat poop miners, were come down with a respiratory illness in a cave, and that's how they discovered the coronavirus.
Okay.
So in Europe and in China, in China they use concrete square holes to defecate in. In Europe, they use porcelain. You got the 2-foot pants and the hole, and you aim. It's just the way it is in Italy, And I'm thinking Spain and Gibraltar is probably the same. They don't have a lid on the toilet. And since those guano miners contacted that coronavirus in their respiratory system through the fecal matter of the bat, it's leading me to believe that since the vaccine's not working that well in Gibraltar, probably works best in liberal cities, but not in Gibraltar, I'm thinking that maybe closing the lid on the toilet before you flush and washing your hands very good after the bathroom would probably go a long way before a shot or a mask at killing the coronavirus. That's part of this. That's just my personal thought after listening to you talk.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
You're spot on about those riots.
Oh, thank you. But it makes a lot of sense to me, but common sense ain't too common anymore.
No, it's not. And if you pay attention in public bathrooms in the Philippines, about 8 out of 10 men wash their hands afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
About 6 out of 10 American men. And, news networks like Good Morning America and stuff, they go around New York City sampling handrails and stuff for fecal matter and everything.
Filthy.
And it's all over the place.
Yes.
All over the place. but they're not talking about basic hygiene, sunlight, staying in shape. When the virus first hit, it was, get indoors, pull the curtain shut, stay in the dark, it's going to get you. Oh, and I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Sunlight kills viruses. Oh, Trump's a lunatic talking about UV radiation, blah, blah, blah. They got UV radiation filters for your water. So why couldn't they draw your blood out like when they you donate plasma or when they do dialysis? Run it through a UV filter and put it back in your body.
Right.
And about the riots, real quick before I get off of here, if you were spot on about that, but what about the stacks of bricks and frozen water bottles found around certain cities? And Trump shut down that one consulate in Texas because it was 112 Chinese spies. And these BLM and Antifas are being trained this through the Confucius Institutes in our universities. Our colleges are actually promoting communism with the Democrats. And that's all I got. I mean, Hunter Biden came back from China in 2014 with $1.5 billion on Air Force Two. Who got that money? Where'd it go? That's all I got.
Thank you for the call, man.
Love your show. Love you. You're a wonderful American. Americans come in three colors: red, white, and blue. Be American.
Right on.
Move to the country whose flag makes you feel comfortable. I'll even donate to your cause. Good night, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. Let's get to a few more here. The phone lines are jumping. And let's try. Hold on. Y'all please hang tight. I'm going to try to get to some calls. And let's go 206. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, man, it's Earl. So I got a question for you, man. Like you like to talk about facts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't a hero. He's a symptom of a system that gives people like that white male judge like the right to exclude words like victim, but you could say rioter. So like he's really biased. Like he was racist, he was a bigot, and he had a lack of awareness. He's a white male judge.
How was he racist? Wait, hold on. Because it's a lot right there at once. The question I have for you is, how is he racist? Where's racism at?
He's a white male judge.
Okay, but what makes him racist though?
He's right. He's a white male. Wait,
caller, wait, sir. So just by being a white male makes him racist?
It's a racist system. It's a white system.
Okay, so if you're a white male judge, you're racist automatically. I got it. Go ahead, continue.
And so, all right, if it was a black judge, you think he would have been like chilling with the boy?
You said what? Chilling? Was he chilling with the boy?
Yeah. They took a selfie together. He was right next.
Oh, is there a selfie? Where the selfie at?
It's all over the place.
Ain't no selfie with the judge and Kyle Rittenhouse.
He's like a foot next to him, next to a murderer.
Well, I mean, Kyle Rittenhouse, he's on the stand, and the judge is on the bench right there. Anybody would be right there close to the judge like that because of the way the courthouse is set up.
All right.
Are you trolling?
And it was playing "God Bless America." What's that about?
Okay, that's his ringtone. So what? You like the song? Is that illegal?
They play that at Trump rallies.
So what? It's a song. God Bless America. I like that song too. They do all kinds of they play Michael Jackson at Trump rallies too.
So a white boy walking around with a gun is not even 18. Like he's a little kid. He's 17. He's not legal. And you get a white judge for people like trying to stick up for black people, for Jacob Blake. And this is not a racist case. You're telling me where the facts? I just gave you the facts.
Wait a minute. Wait. So where's the racism? Everybody involved with the case is white. So where's the racism?
I just gave you the facts. He's a white male
But look,
judge.
but okay, so because he's a white male, you already just said it. Because he's a white male judge means he's racist. So that's just what it is. So
he-
also,
he-
wait,
he wouldn't let
sir,
you- you wouldn't let him call him victim.
call listen. So all white male judges, regardless of whether you get a positive outcome or a negative outcome, are racist, right or wrong.
Usually, if they white, yeah, it's a
So
white
how
system.
you said usually, that's the key word. So that doesn't mean all the time. So how do you tell when the judge is not racist if they're a white male?
We'll just say that. We'll just say all the time then.
Okay, so all the time. So it doesn't matter. It could be a case where your cousin get off and he don't do no jail time. They give him money back and all that, but the judge is still racist because he's white.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's part of that whole white system.
There you go.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's all I'm saying. I'm bringing the facts. Like he said, you couldn't say victim.
So
you could say riot.
so the question I have is, the next question I have is, why even bring up the Cal Rittenhouse case as an example of racism if all white judges are racist? Why doesn't it even matter what Cal Rittenhouse did if the judge is already racist from the beginning?
All right, tell me this. With a
No, sir.
What?
Please answer the question. If all white judges are racist, then why even bring up Cal Rittenhouse as an example to talk about the whole system? Why even talk about Cal Rittenhouse at all? Because it's not even about him. It's about the judge, right? All judges that are white.
It's about all of them. It's about all
So
of them.
why bring up Cal
lawyers.
Rittenhouse then? Why not just talk about every single case? Why not talk about all the U.S. cases that involve
It's
white
the
judges?
biggest story right now. It's on TV
so
everywhere.
because it's popular, you guys talk about it. Oh, okay, I got it. Go ahead.
Exactly.
No?
Everybody talking about it.
Okay, cool. Everybody
So tell
on
me this,
everybody
with
on
a black-
Facebook.
with a black kid charged with murder and illegal weapons ever in their life be allowed to be treated like from a judge like that?
How was he treated?
What?
How was he treated? How was Cal Rittenhouse treated
He
by the
was
judge?
treated with preferentiality.
Explain.
He was preferable.
He was preferable. Explain.
The whole case, brother. Listen, man, I don't know what happened.
Break it down for
but
me.
It's like
break it down for the
woke,
audience.
Right? I want you to see things the way I see things.
I'm not going to do that, sir. I'm not going to do that because you're not seeing things clearly.
That's what you got to do if you want to get woke and stop seeing on the cover. If you want to see inside and see how things work, then you're going to see how they like manipulate us and get to us. Well, we know that when you have a white judge and white lawyers and white criminals, that things are always going to go in their favor.
Okay, that's great.
And
so
then I don't know how to make you see that, like,
because it's not true.
like-
I'm not going to see something that's not true. So you can see that if you want to, if you're being serious, if you're not trolling, you can see that if you want to, but I'm not going to see that.
I don't know what else to tell you, bro.
I mean, either, man.
It's
You're
just-
pretty much at a loss.
I mean, I'll be hearing facts and this and that, and I bring out the facts, and it's just like, ain't nobody want to hear it.
Yeah, man, you got to come with some real facts, and not this woke nonsense calling everybody white racist just because they're white. I mean, that's silly.
I mean, what else is? I don't know how to explain it further when you got a white judge, and I explained that. He said you couldn't call them victims. He got a "God Bless America" ringing in the middle of court.
So God bless it. So God bless
they got off
America.
shooting people.
So playing God bless America as far as his ringtone on his cell phone, that's racist. Him being white, that's racist. And then because he said you can't refer to the people that attacked Cal Rittenhouse and got shot as a result of self-defense, which is what happened. You can't call them victims. Okay. So all that right there makes them racist. Got it. Makes all
Yeah,
that makes
all for them white boys who were standing up and protesting for Jacob Blake.
So how are they protesting by being out there at night past the curfew and destroying stuff, setting stuff on fire? How is that protesting for Jacob Blake?
Were they really? Were they really though?
It's
Were they really
videotape.
burning stuff?
It's videotape. Did you not see the fires on tape? They said
I
it in
ain't seen
court.
none of that on
The prosecution even said that Cal Rittenhouse tried to put out a fire. The prosecution said that your people, the ones that were trying to get him in the penitentiary.
He tried to put out a fire. Like,
So-
how do you know that these guys? Everybody was out there protesting because of how the police treat black men.
Is that why they were out there just tearing stuff up? So you're gonna go tear a black area down because of how the police treat black people? Does that make sense to you?
Hey, the riot is the voice of the unheard.
So no, sir. The question was, so you're gonna go tear a black area down because the police are racist against black people? Does that make sense to you?
It worked, right?
Does it make sense? So it's okay.
It makes sense. It got attention, right?
So how did it work? What happened?
It got his name. His name rang out. Now everybody know Jacob Blake was shot
Okay.
by white police.
And so what?
And now they know. They can see. People are starting to get woke. People are starting to open their fourth eye, and people are starting to realize. They're starting to see through this Fox News right wing trash. They're starting to open up, and they can see that people wasn't out there just like starting fires, whatever. They was protesting what happened to a brother.
So why were they chasing? So why did they attack Kyle Rittenhouse?
I mean, you walking around the streets with a gun. What else you gonna do?
So if you see a guy with a gun, you're gonna run up on him and attack him because he's armed. Is that logical?
If I got my people with me, yeah. He shouldn't have been out there.
So if you get shot, whose fault is that? If you run up on him and get shot, whose fault is that? His fault or your fault?
Well, what was he doing?
No, sir. The question was, if you run up on him, he's not doing nothing to you, minding his business. If you run up on him and get shot as a result, whose fault is that? His fault or your fault?
That's his fault for being out there.
So if you attack him, it's his fault. It's not your fault for attacking him.
Out there.
Well, at the end of the day, there was a curfew, so nobody should have been out there. Period. So you shouldn't have been out there either. So you attack. So you attack him.
What was he doing out there?
It don't matter.
I mean, he crossed state lines with a gun.
Okay, he crossed state lines. There you go. There go the gong moment right there. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. Entertaining call, but I'm not sure if the guy's a troll or what. But that was fun. But you know what? Troll or no troll, it's guys that think like that out in the real world right now today. Your auntie, your uncle on Facebook, they think like that. Ridiculous. Hey, kids, if you're listening, don't do what that man said. If you see a man with a gun, don't attack him. That's the wrong thing to do. Matter of fact, don't attack nobody. If you see somebody out there that's minding their business, playing Candy Crush on their phone, leave them alone. Keep your hands to yourself. And if you run up on somebody, hey, man, may God be with you. I'll just put it to you like that and move on. So let's get to a few more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 504, and allow who I'm speaking to.
You're talking to Jay. How you doing, ABL?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm doing okay. I wanted to comment on the last caller. I really, honestly, ABL, believe that was LeBron James. It had to be. Because that was just insane. And I just enjoyed your interaction because you had him just flabbergasted. But I wanted to tell you, ABL, one, I enjoy your show, man. I just get a kick out of you. I think you're very awesome. But then also, that was the Kyle Rittenhouse case was just totally a self-defense. And if anybody can't see that, there's really something wrong with those people in that country. Because if you were in the same situation, like what would you do? Everything that they did in this case, as far as putting up his phone, searching things, everything that he was doing while he was there was all positive. You got people coming after him, running after him. He points and he turns to defend himself, doesn't fire the weapon. The people still come after him. They're running after him, just saying, get his rear end and all of those different things like that. He has absolutely a right to defend himself. I would have done the same thing. I know you would have done the same thing because you made your stance. And so would if people really open up their minds and start being like LeBron James, who you just was speaking to, they'll realize that he had the right to do that. And if they were in the same situation with that mob mentality coming after them, they would have done the exact same thing to defend themselves. It has nothing to do with him crossing the border. I won't say state lines because I know that gets you thrown, but crossing into another state, I mean, because he came over there, yes, he had a weapon, but he wasn't using that weapon in a malicious way at all. People call him an active shooter. That's not an active shooter. The police officer that spoke with you earlier, he was totally wrong. I'm a police officer. I'm in law enforcement, and he was not a vigilante. Everything he had to do, he did to protect himself and to try to protect the community.
Exactly, 100%. It was clear to anybody that watched it that was not biased before they saw it. It was open and shut. I mean, he was being chased by people, and he was not out there trying to provoke anything. The jury saw it. The jury deliberated for a long time, and they came to the right decision.
Yes, sir. I agree wholeheartedly. And then with LeBron just saying how there's racism, I mean, everybody in the case is white. Like, what was LeBron talking about? I mean, that was insane to me. But I so enjoyed the interaction because you had him spinning, ABL. You had him spinning. But I'm not going to keep you because I know it's towards the end of your night. Man, you are fabulous. I enjoy your show. I watch it all the time. You bring everything to the forefront. You get people to think, and I really enjoyed that. So you stay safe, my friend. God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, shout out to the call. Great call. Let's go to a few more here. Let's go 646 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL.
Hello.
Hello.
I hear you. What's going on?
Hi. I don't know if I'm a little bit behind on the video, which is live.
Yeah, don't watch the video because it's behind. Just talk to me on the phone.
Hi. How are you doing?
Oh, it's all good. Can't complain.
Well, I'm calling from Puerto Rico, and I've been watching the trial and everything else. And what shocks me and amazes me is everybody's going on about racism, white supremacy, but they're not talking about ADA Binger's actions and Krause's actions. How many innocent people of color might have been convicted based on their actions? And I think that we need to go over every single one of their cases with a fine-tooth comb, because I can guarantee you, if they did this in a televised trial, they must have done this before.
Well, you know what? That's a good point. I think this case is probably a lot different because of the whole political thing. But I mean, there could be some other ones out there that may have been a little bit more political locally that they behave this way. Who knows? It's hard to tell, but it kind of makes you think.
There's the case of Crystal, who defended herself, 17 years old, against sex trafficking, and they threw the book at her. So clearly, there is something going on in that system, and I think that everything needs to be looked at, because he said, no, we have a clearer copy. He lied to the judge. He lied to the defense. And if he's done that clear as day and decided to hand over and say, no, it's a compression issue, it's clearly not a compression issue.
Right, clearly.
It's a corruption issue.
Yes, that's right.
But people need to think about that and say, look, the media is spinning this one way about supremacy and racism. What are they trying to hide? What are they aiming for? What are they wanting? They want to sell you clicks. They want to sell you papers. They want to sell you whatever. They don't care the cost of small business owners. They don't care if a city burns down where people are underinsured. They really don't care, because the people that are underinsured don't have rubble removal insurance. They will never come back from that. And so at the end of the day, this has to be looked at overall. And it's gross incompetence, or I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point you raised there. And there needs to be something that happens in that situation. They need to look into it and do something, because there's a lot of lives that may have been ruined by these kind of people and the corruption that happens in the state. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were full aware of that, and they understood what they were doing from the beginning. They should have never brought this to trial. And they're saying, well, if this were a black man, whatever, he would have not been brought to trial. There are other circumstances, and, we're looking at other cases. I understand that. But this is clear-cut self-defense. And what really is not how people are like being shown the evidence, is how the media is cutting the evidence. And they really need to be held to account as well. Because I'm watching it here in Puerto Rico and I'm like, wow, they're really cutting pieces out. They're really cutting it out. They're showing halfway from when the bag is thrown to when the man is shot. Like, I mean, this is, and then of course they're going to say racism. They're going to say white supremacy. They're going to say a racist judge because Kyle Rittenhouse, like the previous gentleman, is leaning over him. That's not a selfie. Kyle Rittenhouse was just leaning over him. Now, if the judge felt that his life was in danger, or if the prosecutors felt that their lives were really in danger, would they have really been that close to him? No.
Exactly.
But they targeted him. They thought he was going to be an easy target, you know, with his blue-green eyes, and we're going to get him. And it didn't work. And now they're thinking, oh, well, let the riots happen. And they don't care about what happens to these cities. And I think that these people need to be held accountable. We need to investigate every single one of their cases going back, I don't care how long, when, every single one. Because I can guarantee you they must have lied or cheated. And by the way, the cop lied on the stand. So him as well.
Right on. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely
So
appreciate
I don't
you.
want to hold you any further. I'm glad I got through. I'm surprised I got through. So yeah.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye. Good night.
Very good call. I didn't think about that, really. I didn't think about Lunchbox and Binger. You know, that's a very, very good point. And to that picture I showed earlier of Pope John Paul and Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, here's the actual article. This is on thesun.com. It says, the Pope, the Pedo, and the Pimp. Beaming Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell blessed by the Pope, showing their all-powerful connections. And it was published today, which is Saturday, November the 20th, 2021. It's right here on the website. I'm not making it up. All right. And they're at the Vatican in the picture enjoying a private audience. It says right here, the snap sees the pedo billionaire and his alleged madam enjoy a private audience with the head of the Catholic Church at the Vatican. Very interesting. It's 2003 with Pope John Paul II. But I'll move on. I mean, like I said, back then in the Vatican, the age of consent was 12, and Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell or Pope John Paul at the Vatican in 2003. Coincidence? Hey, who knows? But I'll move on. I shall move on. All right. Now, let's get to some more calls here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go to, wow, these phones lines are coming in. 780, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
John.
All right, John, what's happening?
No, not much.
All right, before we start, turn your speakers down in the background for me, please.
Oh, yeah, I just turned them off.
All righty, yes, it is me.
Oh, yes, nice to speak to you, man. Love your show.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just wondering about your opinion on why the U.S. isn't looking at Canada as the origin for the coronavirus.
You say that one more time now?
Why? I'm calling from Canada.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm wondering why the U.S. hasn't been looking at Canada as part of the origin of the coronavirus. So I'll go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
So before the virus started, right, there's a level 4 lab in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where the RCMP went in and arrested a Chinese scientist and her students for sending live viruses to Wuhan.
Okay.
And that can be looked up. And the Canadian government right now is being, for, they say, national security reasons, will not say why these people were removed from the lab. But they were removed from the lab for sending live viruses to Wuhan lab. Now, the Chinese scientist is actually the one who developed the Ebola vaccine.
Okay.
So I was just kind of wondering if there was any American intelligence on looking at the origins coming from those people that worked at that lab in Winnipeg that were sending live viruses to Wuhan.
That's a good question, but I think that could have happened. But I think the main thing is that China shouldn't have been able to do this. China shouldn't have been able to have those kind of viruses at all, regardless of where it came from. That's important, but the main thing is that Wuhan leaked it. I think what happened was Wuhan leaked it to their people first. It got out of the lab some way, because the thing about China, there's no quality control. They pretty much do whatever. You go into a hospital in Beijing, as big as a train station, big as Penn Station times 15, with no bars of soap anywhere in the hospital. No sanitation, just gross. It's like third world standards with first world appearances, first world veneer on third world standards. That's China. So they should never have had these kind of viruses to begin with. So of course, one day there was going to be an accident. They hurt their own people first, and then they allowed it to travel overseas. They stopped travel in their nation, but still allow international travel. That's how the whole thing spread. We can get to the initial origin, but the main problem is China because of how they handled the whole situation.
Yes, yeah, I'll agree with you, because I was in the military, and that was actually back in the 90s, one of our courses, because I worked for communications, and we worked with CSIS, the RCMP, which would be like your FBI, CIA. Mm-hmm. We collected information, and one of our courses was about the Chinese developing biological weapons,
right?
And the fear the government had about them, doing gain of function on viruses to release on the West. That was actually a course I took.
Right.
But like my thing was like when I was looking I look at all the information, and I'm looking at what part did the Winnipeg lab and these Chinese scientists. I mean, she developed the Ebola vaccine, so she's a very smart person. And they were caught sending live viruses to Wuhan. So I'm just wondering if you have any opinion on, like, would, that be a connection to the whole, like Fauci with his, gain of function thing. I'm kind of wondering if they were doing that here, because the Trudeau government won't say anything. They just keep saying it's national security. And they won't release any information on what happened to these people after the RCMP removed them from the lab.
I mean, I don't really know too much about that. I have to look into it, but I think there could be something there.
Hey, I mean, you can Google it and look it up. It's not a story I'm making up. I mean, it's on like the CBC, which is a Canadian broadcasting, like sort of like the BBC. There were stories on it, but they scrubbed them as fast as they could, right? Because they didn't want to trace back, I guess. I don't know, like, I don't want to be conspiracy theorist, but I mean, the stories disappeared so quick. It was amazing.
Right. I'm with you on that.
I mean, I don't know, I'm not familiar. I don't know if you're familiar with Rebel News in Canada.
Yeah.
But a lieutenant, when they had, you remember when they had the I don't know if they're war games or whatever in Wuhan, China, but there was a military, I don't know if it was a parade or what the whole thing was.
Okay.
But October, before the pandemic started, a jet of military personnel flew back to Canada, and a lieutenant said that a lot of the people that went to Wuhan had got sick, and they don't know what it was. And they just said, well, just let them go, right? It's probably the flu or something.
Gotcha.
And that lieutenant, after the pandemic started, released a document to Rebel News stating the fact that they just let them all off the plane.
Well, this is a really interesting thread, but I'm at the end of my show, so I got to go ahead and cut it short. So thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, yeah, okay, ABL, thanks for taking my call, and love your show, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay, have a good night, buddy.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, I've not really heard too much about that, about Canada being involved, potentially. But I'm going to look into it and see what's going on. So thank you guys again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Great show tonight. Great show as always. Shout out to the mods for doing what you do. Keep all the trolls in check. That's being trolls tonight with some good calls. A lot of interesting information. I got super chats to read right quick, and then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. If you're listening to me on your favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating, a review, whatever it is. And if you don't know, this show will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform. Just search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And also go to the link in the description box below. It'll be right there. Available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Google Play, etc. If you want to hear the show, play it back in audio only to ease up some of that expensive internet's usage. All righty, so super chats, let's read those right quick. And also, of course, you guys, you got last minute gifts. Go to BHE Brava Henry Echo Designs.com. Again, BHEDesigns.com. Links in the box for the flags that are behind me. Go to ABLmerch.com for hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more. All right, super chats. Let's get to those. Thank you to, let's see. Thank you to Jack, who says, Mr. Logan, thanks for being the voice of reason in these trying times. Ain't no problem. You know, got to do it. Somebody got to do it. Thank you to Butt versus Windshield, who says, if Biden visit your town, to be on the safe side, you should put chili peppers on the kids' hair. I got that one. I remember that one earlier. Thank you to, let me see. All right, hold on. Let me get back to where I was. And I think I was right here. Thank you to Mary, who says, Cal lived 1 mile from Kenosha. He lived on the border. His best friend bought him the gun for his birthday. He kept it at his friend's house. There you go. Perfectly explained. All right. Shout out to Butt versus Windshield, who says, I'll say this. Cal had every right to be there. The BLM mob was destroying the town. Why does BLM have the right to do that? None. Cal had every right. BLM had no right. There you go. I'm with that. Thank you to Donde2K, who says the Indian immigrant owners of the car dealership asked Cal to be there for them. Another fact that has been left out all along. There you go. Thank you to Michael, who says, I was 17 when I shipped out for Army basic recruit training with parental consent. Hashtag FJB, FBLM, and FWOKE, US. Thank you to J. Palmano, who says, or I Pam Nicole, I'm tearing it up. I Pam Nicole, who says, are people mad that Alec Baldwin is more accurate with a prop gun than Kyle Rittenhouse with a semi-auto AR-15? Think it's Rebel KGF, who says, Kyle shot at Jump Kit Man, who was black but didn't hit him. Follow the case and don't follow the narrative. Either way, not a case of race at all. Thank you to Nicole, who says, nearly every media outlet edits the video of Richie McGinnis' interview with Kyle. They cut it right before Kyle says, for my protection, obviously, and I also have my med kit. Exactly. You talking about before Daily Caller? Yeah, I remember that interview right when it happened, before everything popped off. Thank you to Kathy for your donation. I appreciate you. Thank you to the Pen W, who says, Kyle is not guilty. Now the media are doubling down on the narrative. What do we do to stop the false media from pushing this? Just counteract what they say. Counter their message. Put out the real message. That's why I'm here, to counteract the mainstream media. They say whatever they're going to say, but I got to be here to say something different. So that's the whole purpose. Thank you to Elizabeth Peterson for the donations with the horns. Shout out to Ben, who says, half of Congress didn't even know most Facebook and Apple's profits are from ads. Yeah, they don't, because they don't know what's going on. They don't really understand technology. They still on the big box TVs, on the floor model TVs, like an old piece of furniture. Thank you to Ian, who says, when I grew up in England, half of my friends are black. Love Thy Neighbor was the funniest show on TV, and we all laughed at it. Thank you to Mark, who says, shout out to my beautiful sister, Candace. Thank you to Eric, who says, can this be considered organized crime? Perhaps RICO could be enacted. Your thoughts? You're talking about the organized BLM riots. I mean, it could be, but the question is, how are you going to prosecute with these corrupt prosecution teams? You know, people talking about white supremacy in the courtroom, but I'm talking about just straight corruption. This white stuff, this white and black stuff is for the normies. You know what I'm saying? It's for raising money and stuff like that. It matters, but only to those that are making it be a thing when it should not be. Thank you to Kimberly, who says, what is happening is the NWO. What is happening is the NWO is taking shape. Just look up Agenda 2030. Thank you to Jason, who says, agree. What I miss most about the Trump era was that everyone was welcome because we got it. There you go. Thank you to Generic Commenter, who says, great name. Keep up the great work, ABL. Thank you for that. Thank you to Driv03, who says, let me hop on the line 929. I'm not sure if I got you on or not, but if I didn't, blame the white man. It's not my fault. Thank you to Blast Radius, who says the last black caller was a trip. So all white judges are racist. So are all black male thugs. Using his logic, exactly. Good point. Thank you to Farno Faye, who says the show New Amsterdam has an episode where docs save a black trans illegal immigrant from ICE. NBC, what is wrong with you? Cover all bases. And they got everything. They got black, trans, illegal, alien, ICE. How are you a black, trans, illegal alien? Where'd you come from where being trans is all right, aside from America? Which you came from Europe somewhere? I know you didn't come from Haiti like that. That's not really the wave in Haiti, but anyway. I think it's Razor Shop Thoughtfulness, who says, for the record, BLM has casually taken more lives than Cal Rittenhouse, hands down, no contest. Yet the left refuses to put them on trial for it. The BLM has casually taken more lives in Philly, right? So BLM itself has taken more lives than Rittenhouse in Philly. Thank you to Justice, who says jury should look like the USA, not just all white. Well, you have to be suitable for jury duty, number one, and you got to want to do it. When they send you the summons in the mail, you got to be able to respond. And also, it's not about just the USA, it's about where you live. So if you are a black person and you live in an all-white town, how are they going to have a jury that looks like a demographic that does not exist in that area? That's not how that works. But anyway, thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you like the content tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do that as well. And I'll be back again live on Wednesday of next week, right before Thanksgiving. So you guys enjoy your turkey day. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. Don't eat yourself into a coma. But I'll be back on Wednesday for my stream. I probably not next Thursday, but definitely again next Saturday. And again, remember, I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona on Tuesday, November the 30th at Brandon Tatum's release party. We might try to get some video pictures or something like that if you can't make it. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.